5.
That was the
Well,
longest
so
one ever.
I was thinking about it start, people go like 2, 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. But counting down, I'm like, that's a little bit harder.
I get you though.
But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. We are going to be talking about the. Is it all the demos that we played? I know I don't know. No, yeah, I actually didn't list all the demos that I played.
I didn't list every single one. These are the I primarily played horror demo, so I chose all of those ones. It's spooky season.
Yes, yeah, it is spooky season. It is indeed. I'm trying to think. Played Reanimal. That was the scary one that I chose. I'm trying to think. Did I pick any other scary ones?
Arc Raiders might of the ones that we're talking about might be the only one that's not necessarily a horror game. That's on my list.
Yeah, you were deep in the horror, it seems. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about some of the demos that we played. I think many, if not all of which, you'll be able to find on both of our respective channels.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see some footage and the demo is not up, some of these demos are up, some of these demos are not. Or I should say, some of these demos are still up. Some of them have closed because Next Fest has concluded. Then you can see our footage to at least get a sense of the gameplay.
Yes.
But yeah, before we got into that, though, I did want to ask you, Didge, do a gaming wellness check and see what you've been playing as of late that you've been enjoying.
Oh, obviously I'm playing Ghost of Yotei. Very much enjoying that. I'm recording still the Godfather game, which I found out after the episode that goes up tomorrow, where, spoiler alert, I guess, I finished the story campaign.
Oh my god.
That means I only have 4 more episodes left, because I'm going to essentially, I don't want to give away the story, but there are 4 things that you have to do once the actual story mission's in to fully complete the game. So I'm just going to do an episode for each one of those. I'm playing that. I'm starting Silent Hill either tonight or tomorrow. I gotta see what my timing is like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I'm starting Silent Hill 2 again. Not F. I will start Silent Hill 2 because I do want to play F, but I want it to rebeat 2 before that. So I'm gonna start that.
Are you doing the remake or the original?
I'm gonna do the remake. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So that'll be on stream actually. So that's what I'm saying. I just have to see what my time is like either today to be able to stream it. Otherwise, for sure tomorrow. And I think those are the main things. I'm once I beat Yotei, I'll start Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about that as well.
It's a lot, and it's I've been seeing so many people have so much fun with Ninja Gaiden, so I've been like, man,
I actually haven't seen anything.
Really? Oh, I've been seeing a good
amount
of people.
I haven't been on social media that much, so.
Isaac, what's happening? How are you? I just realized that comment.
Welcome.
But no, I've been seeing a lot of people have a really good time with it, so I'm excited to get into that. I guess in my downtime, I'm still replaying Ninja Gaiden 2. I beat it again and then just restarted it.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Are there difficulty levels in Ninja Gaiden 2? I can't remember.
Yeah, so I usually just play it like the first time I replayed it again. I played it on Way of the Acolyte, and then it's Way of the Master, and then Way of the Grandmaster, if I remember correctly. No, I probably did Way of the Master. I think Way of the Master is the middle difficulty, but now I'm trying to get on Way of the Grandmaster, which is the hardest difficulty.
Oh man, there's like
it's difficult.
Yeah, I understand what people are saying with the how that used to be the difficult game that people would play.
Yeah.
I feel like playing the remake this year, it was hard, but it wasn't like I got stumped often. There were 2 moments in particular where I was like, "Oh my god, like I'm suffering through this."
No, that's fair. It felt like going back and playing it on the way of the master difficulty after the fact, like after everything I've played since then, it definitely felt easier. You definitely remember some of the pains of what controls were like back then, though. Like that was some things they didn't change a thing with that, so it was a curve with that. But I'm also feeling that when I play The Godfather every time. Like there are times where I'm trying to lean against something or like, duck for cover and you're not perfectly at it, so it didn't pop up to tell you. So he's just doing this. And I'm like, oh, get this. So I think that's just the pain of playing retro games.
Yeah, it is. And I played Ocarina. I'm trying to think, it was just last year or did it spill into this year? I don't know. I think mainly last year, and those tank controls were it was tough. It was that plus, and I said this to Dig and DJV, they disagree, but I really do feel like Zelda might low-key be a horror series. It might low-key be a soft horror series. And being afraid and then also struggling to move the character while you're afraid, like that is like one of the worst things. And
that's fair.
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I do want to play Majora's Mask soon-ish. I thought I would have been playing it by now, but there's so many other games that have come out. So I'll be back in tank control land, not too far away from here.
But what are your favorite games right now? I do want to hear yours. Obviously, I spent a lot of time talking about what I'm playing and what I'm going to be playing.
Definitely Ghost of Yotei. I've been really enjoying that. I've been taking it slow. Because I wanted to like 100% everything and get the platinum like I did for Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
So I'm balancing that. I'm like getting back into Metaphor, which I still enjoy. It's just like, and I've mentioned this so many times, but you have like X amount of days before like the next big thing happens, and like that, it starts to really kill my motivation to keep going. Sure. But we're kind of over the hump there, so like try to keep going while I'm motivated. I just finished playing Okami, and I really enjoyed that. And kind of like what you were saying earlier with the going back to play retro games and the different control schemes like that. That is another one that I think could greatly benefit from some kind of like remaster or remake where they update the controls. Because sometimes it just does not work the way you would expect, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
What else? And then off and on, I have been playing Balatro. I really like Balatro, actually.
Do you? I gotta play it. I think I have it. Let me see. Let me pull up the Xbox app. I think I have it installed on my computer.
It's made me, I think, a lot more open to trying out card playing games because I really like it.
It is not installed. I'm gonna have to try it out though.
You should. It's really fun. And even though, like, because I know we were both saying we don't really know how to play poker, but I think after a while, because it shows you like what all the poker hands are, so you can kind of, and it'll tell you if you put together a poker hand with like the cards you have selected, so you kind of start to learn your way around things. But that's been a lot of fun too. What's coming up next for me? I still want to play the Indiana Jones DLC.
That's fair.
I think that's getting pushed a little bit so that I can play Keeper. I think I'm going to do Keeper this upcoming weekend. Just do like maybe 1 or 2 streams just to finish it out. Because I think it's like only 6-ish hours or something like that. So it's not too terribly long. And people have been saying it's really good.
It says 5 on How Long to Beat.
It could be a stream. But it depends on how locked in I am. We'll see.
That's fair. No, I wasn't trying to say to push you to, do it in one stream or not. I'm just looking at the see how long it was for you.
Yeah. I saw when it first came out, the How Long to Beat was like 6-ish something, but it also was like not as many people had, I guess, filled it out.
Yeah, fair.
And then I do also want to play Ninja Gaiden, but I don't know how this is going to work, honestly. I don't think Ninja Gaiden. I think Ninja Gaiden 4 is only on the Series X and S and PS5. It's not on the One.
That's a good question. Let me see. I would assume so.
Which, if that is the case, I won't be able to play it when I go on my holiday break. And I don't know if I want to bring my big old brick of an Xbox back home.
Is it not a cloud? Can you can play Xbox Series games through the cloud, right? Though.
Yeah, you can. I was thinking, like, because I've streamed some games already. I'm like, would want to, I guess, keep people in the loop.
Oh, fair.
I don't know.
It is not on the Xbox One. It is Series, PlayStation 5, and Windows.
I would have thought so, but we'll see. I might have to no life a couple games before Thanksgiving and see if I can get that figured out. But that's me.
Nice. I have nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I keep getting sidetracked because obviously this is your gameplay, so I keep getting sidetracked with seeing you there and then there, and I'll look at the wrong one. So it's me.
When I saw your comments start coming up, I'm like, why are you saying my boy Joubert? I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh yeah, that was the bot. But all right, cool. Like, let me take that down for a hot second. So moving into Steam Next Fest. So for those that are not familiar with Steam Next Fest, it is basically an opportunity for a lot of indie devs to kind of have people come try their games. They'll publish like a demo, or there might be like a play test or like beta opportunity that people can jump into. And the event's only for, I think, a week-ish, or maybe
I would say 10 days max. I feel like it goes through 2 weekends sometimes.
I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I played it when it was available. Like, we'll say 10 days. We'll say
it might be less. No matter of fact, it might be like Monday to Monday.
See, I was thinking about that. I don't know. Listen. Steam puts this stuff up. Let me see. Hold on. Actually, they should still have the banner for Next Fest, October edition. They don't have the dates anymore. But they actually, if you go to Steam and look at the Next Fest October 2025 edition banner, they do tell you what the top 50 most played demos of the event were, which is cool.
So if you Google it, you can find the page that does still have the dates on their banner. And it is October 13th through the 20th. So a week.
Yeah, about a week. Sometimes I feel like it's a little longer, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like the amount of time I'm sitting here. I'm like, time it's all out of whack. Right. But yeah, Steam Next Fest, it's a good way to discover some new indie games. Also a way for a bunch of different indie creators to put their game out there to be discovered by a lot of people. And if you keep up with a lot of these indie showcases that I watch, or that Digi and I watch, a lot of them do end up having demos at Next Fest, which is really cool, and a chance for you to kind of try before you buy, but also think just support the indie community, give them some feedback, and continue to make things better.
That is true.
But yes, with that, I need to pull this up, but Dig will be walking us through his demo that he played, or not his demo, but the demo that he played.
I wish it was my demo. That would be fun.
That would be cool.
Am I waiting till it comes up to start, or am I?
Let me see. I got it. There we go.
Oh, okay. So the first one is Valor Mortis, and this is a This is from, I guess, first off, it's from One More Level and Lyrical Games, who I think One More Level is the ones who did like the Ghost Runner series. So, honestly, this is way different than Ghost Runner. Because Ghost Runner, it doesn't. That's not a Souls-like game, and this is very much in its heart a Souls-like game where you are, I think, the like undead soldier from Napoleon's army. As you play through the demo, he has powers and stuff now. And I'm pretty sure he died and came back, but everybody else died and also came back, and they're now essentially zombies. And what I liked about this was it definitely has a sense of challenge to it. It's very much like if you are a fan of Souls-like and you wanted something different with your Souls-like game, this doesn't feel like any other one, especially just because it's not in the same type of setting, the like medieval setting or like the 17th century Renaissance top style. It's very much like set during the, I think Napoleon was 18th, 19th century Europe, but it's like you can tell from the way that like you're using sabers that are very much true to the time. The gun that you get is very much true to the time. You don't have like these fantastical weapons. Now you do get fantastical powers, like I was able to light people on fire. Didn't kind of really understand why. As you can see from the title of the video, I don't know why everybody turned to zombies either. Like the story was kind of non-existent throughout all of this demo, but it was fun. I do think that the fighting had a little bit of like it's a little slow fighting. Heavy attacks and light attacks are the same button. You just hold it for heavy attack, which is kind of worrisome. Because it's not it's definitely I think I've died more than once in this game to that, because if it almost feels like if you press the button a little too long or a little too heavy, it starts trying to wind it up for a heavy attack when you really just meant a light attack. You just pressed a little too heavy, and that was kind of worrisome. The dodging and the thing I had the most issue with, I think, is the blocking and parrying, because it feels like it's waiting for you. And this actually might be a good point where this might be a perfect point in the video where I'm trying to parry, and you see how slow it is to sort of bring up the saber to block. And it almost feels like you have to be able to see it perpendicular to their swing, and that's when it knows that it's blocking. So like those are little things I'm hoping that they polish up when the actual game comes out, but I definitely would say don't let it distract you. It's a fun game. The setting is unique, and I had a good time overall. But it is challenging. So like if you don't want a game that will challenge you and like really make you frustrated, I wouldn't suggest this. But I say that about any Souls-like. Like if you don't want to get frustrated by a game, you probably shouldn't play Souls-like games, because I do feel like they're almost designed to frustrate
you. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I guess from a like Souls fan perspective, because this is first person, it seems like more I don't know, like the world is definitely different than what you would expect from software, which is to be expected because this is not from software. It seems more like a action adventure-y kind of setting,
to be honest. I guess I would have called it an action adventure if they weren't so explicit in saying, yeah, this is a Souls-like game. Because it's not like an action adventure game can't be difficult. Like there are many action adventure games that are super difficult, but it feels like they went out of their way to make sure to let people know, like, hey, no, this is a Souls-like game, just to let you know what you're getting into.
Interesting. And then is there like a boss towards the end of this?
Yeah, so you play this general. That's actually where I ended up getting frustrated and be like, I'm done, because you can see how many times I died to this general.
Oh, wait, was it the guy I was...
No, this is it.
Oh God.
So this is the general.
Okay, because I was gonna ask, were there any like monster kind of looking people, or they all looked like regular dudes? But no, this is
so this fight, and I think all of my deaths didn't make it to the ending VOD. So I think I died maybe like 7 or 8 times. Then I finally got him, only to find out there's a second phase. Because
Oh,
obviously it's an alpha. There's nothing like where a lot of people are talking about, the full scope of it or anything. So I did all that, found out there was a second phase. I died to it once, and I was like, all right, I'm giving it one more try. I was already like an hour or so in recording anyway. And I was like, if I die, I'm done. And the second phase is crazy for this one. And this is just one of the ones where I was dying in the first phase. In the second phase with this one, he starts summoning like the undead again. So when I died the last time, I didn't even get hit by him. One of his people, as I'm fighting him, shot me. And I was like, oh, no. And so I ended it. And it sucks because, again, like I said, I think Souls-likes are designed to frustrate you like that. I tried to come back and play it the next day. And I did my times wrong. So I missed the end of the playtest. And I was so sad. Because I felt like, you come back, you're calm. You can do this.
Yeah.
And it was just a case of I did the time zones wrong. They were showing the times in I think it was in London time or something like that, like GMT, and I just did the math wrong, and so I missed it by like an hour and a half.
Oh.
So don't let the frustration that you'll end up seeing, like you could tell I don't have a smile on my face right now, but that's you playing the game. I think once you get into a boss fight, you're not in there smiling and doing all that. I had a phenomenal time with the game, like figuring out the way that you needed to beat him, and like being able to use the gun. I think at some point, you're gonna see me shooting fire at him and stuff, and like just doing all of those. It was fun, but I say give it a shot.
And then I think my last question for you. Oh, so we did see the menu briefly pop up. So is the leveling system similar to how you do it in Dark Souls, where you like have attribute points, or is it more like a skill tree situation? Or
yes, I wish I knew a time step for you where I was doing that.
Let's see, was it like more early on?
Actually, it might be right after this. I did some leveling up in the middle of this. Because every so often after you die, you get a little bit of extra points. So
that's nice.
I wonder, did I cut it? I might have ended up cutting it. But it is like Dark Souls, essentially, where you put so many of those 1275 in the corner. That's like those are like the points that you would use to get to the next level. And then every time you're able to level, you can put it to one of the different skills.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, so in order to level up, you have to have so many of the catalysts is what they're called. And then you just put it into one of these.
And then when you die, do you drop catalysts?
You do. You drop them, you can go pick them up. Typical, like I said, typical Dark Souls, typical any Souls like where every time you go back to the lantern, you can rest up. You'll get your I forget what they're called, but the thing in the left corner that I have 3 of right now, you can get those, and essentially once you use it, it goes away. But when you go back to the lantern and rest, it'll restock. But all of the common enemies will become, they'll be back.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, interesting.
So yeah. This is Valor Mortis. I definitely think it's a game worth playing. Like I was saying at the end of this, this is one I'll for sure be keeping. It's already on my wish list, but I'm going to be keeping up with it, especially if they do nothing like another playtest because this is pre-alpha apparently. So theoretically, they'll have to do like they may do an alpha beta or an alpha test, but more likely they'll at least still do a beta test before an official release, and I definitely want to keep up with it and just see where it's going to go from here, because for it to be pre-alpha, it felt pretty damn polished to me.
Yeah, I was about to say, this doesn't look like a pre-alpha at all.
But yeah, to be honest, like you can see it here at the bottom. I don't know if they just messed up and put that and kept that there, but I noticed it right before I was ending, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like a pre-alpha.
No, yeah, that might just be left from the actual pre-alpha or something. I don't know.
Unless it is, some of the, like I said, the slowness of the dodging and parrying and like how it felt like it was that could have been a little bit more fluid, unless that's what they're looking at. And so, like, I did put that in all of the stuff. You know, they had like the little questionnaire at the end, and I did make sure to put it into that. But we'll see. It's on my list. I think it should be on you guys' as well.
Oh, nice, cool. Yeah, it looks interesting. Let's see. The next one we got, try and pull this up, is Crash Out Crew, which Digi and I did play the demo together. So this is developed and published by Aggro Crab, and for those that may not be familiar with Aggro Crab, they worked on Another Crab's Treasure. They collaborated with Landfall to make Peak. So, you know, they are killing it this year with the games. And I think this one is definitely going to be another game that people look forward to. For my like Steam Next Fest video, I'm like trying to summarize these games within like a few sentences. And I think my summary for this one was like overcooked with forklifts, pretty much. Like, it was a lot of fun. Digi and I almost completed like all the levels in the demo, but I had a mistake in there, and you know, sometimes people make mistakes, but that's okay. I could definitely see us playing this, and I think you could play up to 4 people as well. Yep. So yeah, it was just really fun.
Yeah, this is firmly on my wish list, like to the point where I just need a release date, and I'll be getting it. I'm going to be making sure that friends get this, because I had a great time with it. Like all of the different, like the I guess like the obstacles they included, like when the lava was popping up, or like they're shooting meteors.
Yeah, the bees. Oh man,
the bees wasn't even an obstacle. That was just stage design that was painful. Like, but yeah, that one was it's definitely fun. I hope they do more stages like the bees one, or like the chicken one, where like the chicken, if you have it sitting around for too long, it starts running around. Remember, our chicken was catching on fire because of the floor was turning into lava. Like it was chaotic. It was chaotic with just the 2 of us. I can only imagine what it's like with 4 people.
I know. I was thinking about that, and I was also thinking about the fact that, like, you know, there is a mechanic in the game where you like crash out, which is essentially your character gets so stressed that they just lose control and start like spinning around and doing stuff. And I feel like, at least for at least for me, I don't think I crashed out that much. And I don't know if it's because there was only 2 of us, so we weren't really that close together to make each other crash out, or if I was just that good at dodging stage obstacles. I don't know. But
I feel like it has to be that there just wasn't enough of, like, those stages are small. So you start thinking, when you're including 4 people going around and everything, it was very easy for you and I to try to sort of stay away from each other. But when it's 4 of us doing all of that, you know, bouncing into each other, because every hit basically brings up the crash out meter, as you can see from before earlier. So I think when there's more people, it's very much a lot more crash outs.
Yeah, and part of me is curious, I guess, how that would affect the way that I view the game, because, like, you know, without the crash outs, it's just like us like trying to, oh man, I remember doing that. It's us trying to like, you know, can be, oh, there is a crash out right there, but it's us trying to communicate, like, hey, this is what the order is, like, I need X, Y, and Z, and then trying to deliver on that. And with the additional people, it's like, you know, you have more people you got to get around. You have to like try and communicate with everybody, so everybody's on the same page. So I wonder how things will change in that regard. So I wouldn't critique the lack of crash outs, because I just don't think we had enough people to really get that many. But I wonder how does it strongly affect gameplay?
I feel like it might not. Where it was like with this one, like we're crashing and we're having to focus on both trucks. Where I feel like it has the potential to be much more fluid, where it's like, all right, 2 of us are going to focus on truck A, 2 of us are going to focus on truck B, and then in the midst of the crash outs, you're just like, all right, forget it. You go to whichever truck you can get going. We got to make sure we don't lose. And I think it'll make it more hectic, but it'll still be like the crash outs. It wasn't like it was like, oh my god, the world is over. It was still very fun.
Yeah.
Like the only reason why we didn't do like I was just tired towards the end of this. This was the last demo we played of the day, and it was just like, all right, I want to kind of go to bed because it's just been a long day. Like,
yeah, it was getting late when we were playing this, but I'm not sure if we played this demo the longest, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, for
sure. A lot of it. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. I definitely recommend people keep their eye out. Let me see on Steam. It says, yeah, I think the demo will likely be unavailable. I was gonna say by the time this comes out, but this is a live stream. I think. Let me see. It says they extended it for a week. If you're here watching now, you might have the chance to play it today.
Yeah, it says until the 27th. So it doesn't even say when on the 27th. So you got maybe until tomorrow night.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're interested, if you're a fan of Aggro Crab, I can't even really say like, oh, if you like Peak or if you like Another Crab's Treasure, because this isn't necessarily super related to those. But I think the developer, like the spirit of the developer, if you like that group in particular, I think you would enjoy this game. So definitely give it a shot. You have maybe 24 hours, so get to it. Get some friends together and get to it. On to the next one. We have The Last Mile. Let me pull this up here.
So this one was one I was trying to do pretty much all horror games. That's primarily what I played just throughout Next Fest itself. And this one, the reason I brought this one to this list is I think this is one of the ones that has a lot of principle. Do you remember when we played was it Pacific
Drive?
Pacific Drive.
Yeah.
This is very reminiscent to me of Pacific Drive without needing to go and do all of the things where you have to like rebuild your car essentially. So this one, you're literally just driving the entire time. I chose the beginning of this stream because you're gonna see immediately where the downsides to this game is, and it's the driving mechanic. And to be fair, this is a game that is very much doesn't have a release date. I think it's a solo dev. I know I did this all out of order. It's developed and published by Frost Timber Studios, and I believe he is a solo dev. So this is a game that's very much a work in progress, and I love the premise of it because it is you're driving at night. Once you see me get to driving, you'll see how little you can see of the world around you, and especially for a game that's designed to be a scary game, the atmosphere is there. Like you barely hear anything. Like the music is kind of low, and so it gets you into the vibe of you're driving at night in a scary place. And what sort of happens and what sort of the drawback is the actual driving is the thing that needs the most work. Like I was trying to do a wide turn here essentially, and I'm stuck because I went off the road at the wrong angle. So you're going to start to see me get a little bit confused on the stream. But I think this is one of the ones that can and I really wish the demo was still available so that way more people could play it. But I think this is one of the ones that could benefit from a lot more eyes on it because, like I said, once I get to driving and once you sort of get on the road, the premise is there and the premise is a little interesting. Like I said, it's I can't imagine this being a game that's sort of like full price or whatever. But for an indie game of saying, hey, we just want to scare you up and show you how scary it is for driving at night, it does that completely.
Yeah, they definitely got the right subject matter because driving at night is scary. And it's raining.
Yeah, it's raining. And so essentially, foggy. Yeah, basically and there's a story interwoven throughout all of this where essentially I thought I was supposed to be going to a gas station. I never got to this gas station. Like he kept coming up with different things, and we would, before we get to where I initially swear I said we were going, we done changed locations like 5 times where we're trying to head to. So
you lost.
Yeah. And that was the other thing. Like, it felt like, okay, now we're lost. We're lost at night in a scary place. Stuff is popping up. Stuff is popping into the road. Cars are coming in the lane they're not supposed to be. It's chaotic. It's scary. But like I said, I think it just needs a little bit more polishing, and that's sort of what I'm not gonna act like I wasn't a little disappointed that it wasn't better, but this is one of the ones that I do want to keep up with because I do want to know a little bit more about. Like, you just saw me die there.
You die?
Yeah, so you essentially black out. Like, your stress gets to you or whatever. What's going to frustrate me later in this video, and I don't think we will be around long enough to see it, I don't know if it's because I turned the wrong way the first time or what, but that's the direction you have to go.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what other direction was there to go?
So it was an interesting one. It was worth the conversation because of that. I just kind of I left this game wanting more, and I'm expecting that we'll get it in time. It's just a matter of where does it go from here.
Yeah, I'm definitely, because with Pacific Drive that you mentioned earlier. I actually don't even fully remember what the objective is. I think you're trying to get like across the country, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
And you have like a rundown car, and there's also like an apocalypse, like an alien apocalypse or something happening. There's a lot going on Pacific Drive. But what ends up happening is, I think either you tap into a radio or you pick up a radio where you're able to communicate with someone, and you're like, they're like, hey, get these things to upgrade your car. Then you can go to these different like workstations and help me out, and I'll help you out in return by like guiding you across the country, basically. So you kind of what the objective is there. It's ultimately to like get away from the craziness that's going on, but you're able to like upgrade your car and like add all these different enhancements and kind of make the car your own, which is pretty cool. So with this one, I'm curious, I guess the main objective is just to like get out alive. I'm not totally sure. But what are the other I guess game mechanics outside of driving? Like, I see like there's some stuff on your screen.
Yeah, so you got a cigarette. It seems like it sort of helps your like your sanity. Like, I guess when you're stressed, you stress.
You just start chain smoking.
Yeah. The last one, so the one that I have 0 of originally, you find a gun. I never got a chance to actually use it because it's like I don't know what I was supposed to be shooting at, and in the middle is the energy.
Yeah.
So that way, like sort of like the electronics in your car and stuff like that. And so one of the things that drew me to this game originally was they were saying that every decision you make sort of changes the game. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I was saying that like I went the wrong way or whatever, I think I was trying to look and see if it was just too dark or something. I think I didn't fully understand what was going on with my screen or whatever, but so I wonder if it really was okay. I turned right first time. I did it again in this run through, and so I wonder if he's like, oh my god, I'm lost. I'm getting more and more. He's getting more and more flustered because the tagline for this is that it's the same story, different journey, and that's when they talk about how like everything that you do sort of influences where you're going with the game. And I guess it makes sense then as you talk about like how I never got to the gas station. I wonder if that's because as I'm listening and I'm just sort of seeing the arrows in the road, it's not necessarily telling me, hey, you have to go that way. But if you want to go to this one, you could. If I would have just followed sort of where I was going originally, maybe I would have made it to the gas station. And so if I look at it in that lens, it makes it a lot more interesting. It's just, I do kind of wish they would have explained a little more.
That's fair. And like you were saying earlier with some of these demos, especially for like a solo developer, sometimes they don't have like this is what's going on with the story at the moment. That's like a later edition, like later version of a demo or something like that. So hopefully maybe they'll update something like that later, even if there isn't a story and it's just like, just survive driving at night. Like at least say that,
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool. And anything else you want to add about this?
No, I mean, I think I've pretty much set the highs and lows of this one. The only other thing I wish they would have had is like a dedicated soundtrack, and I think that was probably by design. But I love to drive listen to music.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be cool if they had like I don't know if you can actually do this in games, but like a Spotify plugin or something you like put on your playlist.
Oh, that would be fire. I mean, it would suck for stream, obviously, but that would be fire.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much it. This is Last Mile.
Oh, cool. Be on the lookout. Check out the Steam page to know more.
Yes.
All right. So this is another one that Dig and I played together, actually. And I selected this, and it's spooky. This is Reanimal. This is by Tarsier Studios, I think is how you say it, who are the creators of Little Nightmares 1 and 2, before moving on to other projects such as Reanimal. And it's published by THQ Nordic and Amplifier Studios. And I think for anybody that's a huge fan of the Little Nightmares series, I think you'll feel right at home with this one. From what I have read about the game and what the creators have described, it is a more mature and like darker perspective on like their classic Little Nightmares gameplay, where it's like small child in like a big adult world or a scary adult world. And you do get to experience some of that in the demo, although I'm like at the point that we got to, I'm not sure how. Or let me rephrase. I feel like it's pretty similar to Little Nightmares in terms of like just the scariness and the darkness of things. Granted, I think this is like the very beginning of the game, so there's definitely more to come there. But for anybody that's expecting something different for the demo, it is not going to. They're not going to get into the meat and potatoes of things yet, I don't think. But yeah, I enjoyed the demo. I played Little Nightmares 1, and I enjoyed it. I was scared and haven't played 2 yet, but I still had a good time with it. I think I would definitely be more open to playing Reanimal since it's like co-op. And I was also, when I was kind of doing my Next Fest recap, I was talking about how I played this with you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I think me and Dig just trauma bond a lot. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, we're constantly just going through these horror games, these horror demos. But I do feel like it is easier to like have somebody else there, even though it's a scary situation. But at least you're not alone.
That means you could join me in more horror games. I like it.
I didn't say that.
No, that's what I heard.
Well, you misheard. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I think my biggest critique is just the way that the demo ended, which was like pretty abrupt.
Oh, it was so abrupt.
It kind of leaves you wanting more, which I think is probably the intention, but at the same time, it also leaves me going like, wait, what? Like, did my game freeze? Like, what happened? So that's probably my only critique for the demo. Outside of that, I think everything works as you would expect if you played Little Nightmares before, and yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, no, what about you, Dig?
It was a lot of fun. I do also agree that it ended abruptly. That's probably my only critique. Other than that, it was great because the creepiness factor of it is like, it's not too much, but it was just enough. Like,
yeah,
when we get to the point where we're hiding in the seats, and he's coming to check the train car, like, there was real fear there, and obviously you're feeling it from, you can tell how much the characters are scared and they're ready to get away. But the chase scene in this, and like when we get to the second part of it, and now we have to run, and this is obviously right where the demo is ending, but you're running, you're getting across, and it was fun. And I think this is light horror, I would say. So for like anyone who doesn't want to be too scared, but they want to have sort of a thrill in their game, this is what it's for. Like this is what that one is. Oh, it's right. This is where.
Yeah, I feel like at least the impression that the developers have given with their interviews and different like spotlights is that they do want to push into more scary horror, which at least me personally, I thought Little Nightmares was kind of scary. But I think they do want to take it to like that next level.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that was on display here just yet. So, but obviously, as you can see, this band moves in very like off-putting and inhuman ways. So there's always still that like creepiness factor to it.
Yeah, not only him, like I don't think it was this part, but when the bodies were slithering across the floor after us, like that was another part where it's like, this is eerie, this is scary. But the reason I call it like low stakes scary, where it's like you're in and out of it so quickly. It's not like you had like jump scares left and right and everything. Like
yeah,
it's definitely played to where it almost feels like child scary in the fact of like how scary the big world is.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. But this demo, I believe, is they're extending the demo period, and they extended it on the 24th. Let's see. Plans to deploy a patch. The demo experience after initial community feedback. They don't say when. Oh, it's extended indefinitely, actually. So you guys can play it at any time you would like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so grab a friend, or you could play it solo and test out Reanimal. The demo's pretty short. It's like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can get through it pretty fast.
Definitely, if you can, try to convince one of your friends to try it with you. I feel like that made it even just so much more fun.
All right, so on to the next one. As I pull this up.
Ooh, this one is the 7 Enchantments. So this one was fun. This is another horror survival game by Revolt Entertainment, which apparently is a Georgian video game company. So Georgian as in the country, obviously. And essentially here you play the role of like a scammer exorcist. His name is Yosef. And you're trying to figure out what happened to the people in this village. Basically that they hire you to like, hey, you know, we know that you're this world-renowned exorcist. They don't know that he's a scammer, obviously. So now he's trying to uncover this mystery, and you sort of get the vibe where prior things that he was exorcising never had anything to do with like actual occult or like demonic stuff. And this one is very much different in the fact where stuff is happening. Like, so like you get like these. What this is sort of describing, I think I probably just chose a bad time to send you the link to timestamp it at, is you have these things like there are ritual candles that allow you to sort of banish the thing that's at. Oh, this is all me trying to get out afterwards. So this is probably perfect a part right here.
Okay.
And so what you'll see is in the distance there's this. It's a monster. It might be a demon or whatever, but you're trying to basically uncover what's going on in this town, and it sort of leads you through it. So like when I got to this place, he's looking at the stuff like for the actual ritual. I'm just trying to get a key to get into the house down the road, and then I got to sneak back to be able to get there. And then, you know, so it sort of leads you on to more the next things, like next step by step. And this is for anybody who likes a game like Phasmophobia or Devour, or, you know, any of the games in that sort of genre. And I do like those games. So this was one that I had a good time because there's a mystery aspect of it. You're trying to figure out, well, what went down at this house? How do you get into how do you get into it? Then you sort of have to explain what happened. And unfortunately, the demo ends before you can get to that point. I think because I'm assuming you're probably doing mystery by mystery by mystery, or it just all starts this one story. But the meat and potatoes of the game is definitely trying to get around where the monster is sort of hiding out. And I will say I think an easier time at the beginning, and that's probably just sort of to lure you into some false safety. But so you see the thing right there, and I knew where to throw the stuff to sort of make my way around back to the house. And then once you're in the safety of that area, you don't have to worry as much. It's just getting into the other parts of the house.
So what are you throwing?
Rocks.
Oh, it's like a distraction thing?
Yeah, so I don't know if it didn't really explain well enough if it had to hit a tree or not, but that's what I was always aiming at. Now, whether or not it would hit or not, that's different. But I was always trying to throw the rocks at like a tree or something, or just something far enough away from me, because it does hear you. Like if you're just taking steps or if you're running, it does hear you. You can sort of see its head sort of turn and stuff at you. So I was always in the mindset of I want to keep this looking that way as I run that way. So things like that, like the ritual candles sort of banish it away from you. Regular candles are just regular candles. And then obviously you saw me holding a lantern, but it can see those a lot better than anything else. So like it can see the ritual candle too, but because of the ritual on the candle, it's gonna banish it. So it won't come up to you for that. Rocks, obviously, it can hear just rocks. If you step through like logs or like step through sticks or like through the bushes, apparently it has a really good sense of sound. So I just made sure to steer clear of those. You're gonna see it look it's looking choppy moving, and that's because of me. Like it's not the game isn't choppy in the flow of it. I'm just taking step looking.
You're doing that like Dune worm walk.
Yeah. So this was a fun one if you like a mystery. If you don't want to have to figure out a lot of stuff, maybe this isn't the game for you, because it is a lot of, are you looking at everything in your surroundings, and then you might see it there. Like there's going to be so many parts if you're watching this where I overlook something and I go back and like I'll see it the second time. And that's up to you whether or not you're a fan of that.
Similar to, I know you mentioned like Phasmophobia as a example of a game that's close to this one. Are you able to play this game with friends, or is this something that you play by yourself?
So this is completely single player to my knowledge. Like the demo for sure was, the Steam page only says single player, but I don't, because it's still in active development, like they don't even have, it's just coming soon. And I can't read Georgian. I don't know if that's specifically their language, but everything on their site was in their Facebook page. They didn't even have a website. So I don't know where they're standing with this. It does seem like, hey, we are celebrating where the demo is right now while we're still working on it. When we have more to update you on, we'll update you.
Interesting. Because I know it's definitely like, and I think I talked to you about this maybe the last gaming podcast, or I can't remember, but mentioned like Friend Slop being like a new kind of game category. It seems like it's solidified. Like people are saying Friend Slop now. And not, I feel like horror games usually aren't Friend Slop, but this seems like a game, basically what I'm trying to say, that you could play with friends, like similar to Phasmophobia. It
has those vibes for sure. Like I don't see why it couldn't. Like you couldn't have a team of The Exorcist. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it wouldn't shock me if they were to introduce multiplayer, just because this is the core of the game. Like you are trying to figure out how to get to the next area each time, but the core of the game is getting to there. Yeah. So this is. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I could definitely see like, if you and Trayvon played it for that. I'm not gonna put my name in there, but if you and Trayvon played
No.
and you're like, all right, Trayvon, like you go to the left, I'll go to the right, and then like you can like run around, like make a little bit of noise. I'll like get closer to the house or like whatever the clue is, and kind of like distract them that way. And then if you guys aren't near each other, then you guys could use the rocks or something. Like I could see that being like you can make different strategic plans if there's more people involved too.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't think I have too much else on this game. I would say, like I said, if you're a fan of mystery, this is one that you should pick up. Just because there's definitely a lot of mystery. It does not spoon feed you into what you're doing, and whether or not you are turned off by that, I think is going to be the thing that drives whether or not you would enjoy this game the most.
Nice. Let's see. What was it? It was the 7.
Oh yeah, sorry, the 7 enchantments.
Check it out.
The demo is actually still available. Let me see if it's. I'm assuming the demo should be just available. Like even though they highlighted it for Next Fest, if I look at their events and announcements, it officially went live back in July. So it might have just been something they participated in to get to continue to get more eyes on.
Okay, well, this will be a good opportunity then. Cool. Let's see. On to get ready. This is a long title. This is the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time. And it's developed by CoinDrop Games, and then I believe they have the creators that are part of CoinDrop listed as part of the developer list too. And it is published by Glutchik Games. I don't know if that's how you say it. I'm sure it's probably not. I apologize. But I actually really enjoyed this. I think it's pretty interesting. It's a very meta RPG where basically, let me see if they have a good summary here. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just say the whole name again. The remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time is the last hour of a lost, non-existent, in parentheses, JRPG remade with director's commentary, the digital manual, and archival footage. It's a deduction puzzle game made from a JRPG that holds a dark secret. And so with the gameplay and the way that you approach attacking different enemies. So as you can see, like on the screen, there is a manual for the game, which immediately makes me feel very nostalgic because I remember the time when we used to get game manuals. And it's interesting that even in a lot of the game cases, if you still collect physical games today, they will have the little pins where a manual would be placed, but there's just no manual. But what's really cool about this game is you can pick up the manual and obviously like it'll tell you like this enemy is weak to fire, this one enemy is weak to acid. So then when you see them, you kind of know what to do. But the other thing that I didn't get so much into because I didn't have enough manual pages is that there are combos that will help you defeat certain enemies a lot quicker. Or some enemies actually require you to do a combo in order for you to beat them in the first place, which is interesting. But there's also like secret rooms, which is, I feel like something that's a little bit more retro in like game design wise versus today. Like I feel like it'd be kind of hard to find a secret room in a modern game today. But back in the day, they had to have those dev rooms so they could easily like get into the game, like figure something out or tweak something and then get back out. Now I think they're much better hidden. But you're able to actually like step into some of those dev rooms in this game. And there's actually like little hints, whether it's talking to certain NPCs, like, hey, you should check out this area, or like this thing is happening in the game, like maybe you should investigate. That's really interesting. And there's a trivia, I think it's an owl. But there's a trivia owl that will say like, hey, you just talked to like Robert the robot. what did they say? And it'll kind of like quiz you on like what just happened in the game. And you have to be an active participant in this and actually be thinking like, oh, like they were talking about like X, Y, and Z, and they wanted me to go here in order to like keep progressing, which I think is interesting. And I feel like and I recommended a video to Dig earlier talking about like decline of like strategy genre in gaming, and Daryl Talks Games is the name of the channel. He was talking about how social media probably plays a part in that, and how it's like shortened our attention spans. So for this to kind of go the opposite route of shortening your attention span and be like, hey, you better pay attention or you're not going to be having a great time here, I think is interesting. But I personally like it. I like having a challenge like that. Let me see. Let me get into some gameplay. Oh man, I got
Trayvon. How's it going?
Welcome to the stream, Trayvon. I didn't see him.
I didn't either until just now.
Oh man, I was stuck on this boss for the longest time.
What is it? Is it like a?
So it is I think it's a bird. You wouldn't think it is.
Thought it was a boiler. Like it has a clock on the side. It looks like it has like steam coming out of it.
I think it's a bird.
Interesting.
But so there are a couple of hints that you get before you get into this. Let's see, boss area, and also I think a lot of interesting references too. So let me see.
Chrono Beast. This is definitely.
So that is something that, let me see. It was at the beginning of the demo that you don't have the information that you need to beat it. So you end up losing to the Chrono Beast. But now I wonder if you go back and you start the demo from the beginning and since you already know the code, you can beat the Chrono Beast, like what the results are. I wonder if they're different.
Interesting.
But so you can see there's like a log off, there's load save. So the way that the game is set up is like very meta, because you're basically playing somebody else's save, and you'll often see like heroes say like file to Jacob. And that was actually a Trivia Owl question, like whose save is this? What year was it that they played the game? Because you can see like they saved in 2024 or something.
Yeah.
That is wild.
This is interesting. I had popped in when you were playing this, and I guess is there a part where like you're talking to real people? Because it came in, and I saw it like it had real people look like they were interviewing them or whatever, and I was like, all right, this is in the demo. I wonder what she's watching, and I got pulled away to something else.
So there's like so many interesting facets of this game. So right here, you see I'm like standing next to a speech bubble, and it will play developer commentary. And I think like I said, there's so many levels to it. So you see there's a Gmail. I think that's actually an active Gmail that you can reach out to. They also have a website that talks about the game, and they let me see if I can pull it up. There's a like meta commentary to this where in the Steam page they say like, this is they give director's commentary of the last hour of a game that never existed. And you're actually able to watch video files from the actual developers of the game, talk about developing the game. But there's also like a little bit of a mystery element because they tell the story of like, hey, we're developing this game. Somebody hacked us. They published the game, put up a Steam page, and we can't take the page down because this is technically not our property. Because they were the stories that they're remastering a game that they played as kids,
right?
And like kind of modernizing it, so they don't technically own any of the IP or anything like that. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here we go.
This might be the part actually where I had chimed in. Yeah. So as you can see, I was looking at the comments, and I was like, "Wait, what just happened?"
So there's you can find manual pages, and you can also find videotapes like this, and that's kind of like the director's cut like commentary that they mention in the game, but it also hints at like different things you can do in the game. For example, there's a video clip that you watch where they say like, oh, this is the dev room right here, we have to make sure to block this off, and they point somewhere on the screen So then when I got to that room, I'm like, oh wait, this is where they said the dev room was.
Right.
And I'm basically like rubbing myself up against all the walls to try and find it. And then I finally found it. I'm like, oh, like that's sick. So
That's so meta.
yeah, it's very, very cool. And I'm very curious to see like what the rest of the story is, especially since like there's this third party that is for some reason publishing their work, like trying to do all of this stuff. Like I wonder what the story is around that. So there's kind of two stories going on. There's like the actual like JRPG story, yeah, and then there's like what's happening in real life as a result, and kind of they blend together a little bit. So let me see. I was gonna show you. We were talking about the bird boiler thing.
Well, Trayvon, glad to hear you're doing good.
Yeah, I can't see the chat, Trayvon. I'm not ignoring you, but glad to hear.
Well, I'm also just waiting for a moment when you're doing something to not derail your conversation.
No, you're good. Let me see. I think I pulled the manuals. So as you can see here, the game kind of starts to break down a little bit.
Right.
And then you have this character. And this character, there's actually a page for him in the manual that I thought I pulled up. Let me try and find. Oh, here we go. So you can see this is the same character, Lorne, and they say that the hint is it's not about weakness. Because as you can see, all the other ones, the way you beat them is using weakness.
Yeah.
But for Lorne's boss, it's the Chrono Cube. That's what it's not a bird, I guess. I don't know what it is. But that's what it is.
I don't know.
But they give you like little hints as to how you're supposed to beat the enemies. And so I was on this fight for the longest time because I'm like, okay, the Chrono Bird's weakness is electricity. So clearly I should use anything but electricity to fight the Chrono Bird. But that's actually not how this boss fight worked. I don't want to spoil it because this is like more so a puzzle. Well, it's a boss puzzle, I guess you could say.
Sure.
I personally, I don't know if I would have came to the solution without I ended up looking up somebody's stream to see I'm like what am I doing wrong? Like, I don't understand. Then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, it does make sense, but would I have arrived at that conclusion by myself? I don't know. And that was like the first puzzle where I felt that way. But clearly somebody else was able to solve it. So
right.
That's just my 2 cents. But I still enjoyed it, even with being stuck for, I think, an extended period of time. But it was a lot of fun. And then towards the end, okay, you can kind of see. Actually, I'll pull this up. And then after you beat the demo, and actually even during the demo, if you choose to log out, you get put into the dev room. So it kind of let me see. It has a really cool transition. That was actually I ended up logging out in the game because I'm like, oh, is that what I'm supposed to do to beat this boss? And I was like, no, that's not it. But it has a cool transition to get into the dev room. If I would I was kind of having trouble with the menu, but
that's fair.
Once I get there,
it's an interesting menu.
It's I was trying to think, is this retro? I'm like, I don't think so.
No, I don't think I would call this retro either.
You see, I log out, and then it kind of like zooms out like you were looking into the screen. I'm like, oh, that's pretty sick. And then you're just like in this kind of dev area where you can. There's like a video that plays on the wall. There's the code for the Chrono Beast on display. There's like a lot of little things. And I feel like as you progress in the game, when the more you log out, like the more things you're able to find like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure there's lots of little things that you can learn. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check this out.
You should. I was just looking to see. I'm like, is the demo still up? It might be. They didn't say that they were taking it down.
I was gonna say it's at least up where I could add it to my library currently. I don't see anything about a time like, hey, we extended this a week or whatever. Like their last update is, hey, we're participating in Next Fest.
Yeah. So I think you might still be able to try it. I think it's really cool actually. I'm like not disillusioned by the RPG or JRPG genre, but I feel like after playing so many like classic RPGs that they don't all do the same thing per se, but you know, they have similar mechanics. I do really value like games like this or like Expedition 33 or even like, you know, going back to Paper Mario because that was kind of a very unique situation that wasn't emulated until much later. I really start to value like these more unique perspectives and like mechanics in these games because you know there's a bajillion different RPGs, so you gotta try and stand out in some kind of way.
That is fair.
But yes, the next one up is I'm actually really interested to see your gameplay for Crisol.
This one, so it's Crisol Theater.
Also, real quick, I didn't want to just like get up and throw you off. I do need to turn on my lights. No,
that's fair. That's fair. I'll be right back. At some point you were going to.
Yeah. Like I'm losing sunlight.
So while she's gone, this game is called Crisol Theater of Idols. It is developed by Vermila. I think it's Vermila Studios. It's published by Blue Mouse Games, and honestly, off rip, I'll let you guys know this is for sure my favorite of all of the Next Fest games that I played. And I know I have a few more that I'm going to talk about, but this one is for sure my favorite. And what's so interesting about this game is every one of those bullets that you see I'm shooting, they're essentially blood. So like, once I run out of ammo, in order to reload, you're going to see my health bar go down because I have to take some of my blood in order to get more ammo. So obviously, on 2 levels of trying to keep your health up, you have to be a good shot, which as you can see, I'm not the greatest shot, but you also have to dodge those hits. And like, you can melee weapon, but you saw how melee wasn't. I bet it gets stronger like when you have better weapons and stuff, but the melee that you start out with, or unless I just wasn't aiming
over and over,
unless I just was not aiming great, melee was not your friend. And like eventually throughout the demo, you get a shotgun as well that takes out a little bit more health, and your way of regenerating that is you're going to see this is perfect timing. You essentially absorb the dead bodies or the corpses that are around. So like you can absorb it from any type of like farm animal, so like chicken. At some point in the demo later, it might be right here. Essentially, there's a dead horse. You're able to absorb the blood from that. You'll see like just dead human bodies around. The interesting one I saw that you weren't able to absorb from was at some point in here. I'm gonna be by like a essentially like a fish market type thing. And you're not able to absorb it from like the fish or like the stuff like that. So that one was interesting.
Maybe the blood was drained already or something.
Well, maybe no, because it looks like it's still intact. And so like as you can see, like when I absorbed it from the chicken, it disappeared. And I don't know if that's because of the absorption process that we're doing. But either way, I say all of that to say this was fun. Later on in the demo, so what they're telling you throughout all of this is, well, we're looking for this building that has 3 mermaids in it. That's not the point of the game. That's just sort of the point of the stage that we're on. But what they'll tell you during this is like there are enemies that you can attack, and there are enemies that you can't attack. And so they're like larger enemies, and you end up having to run from one. And it's crazy how much you really need to run because it'll grab you, it'll throw you, and it'll kill you very quickly. So like it's another fun part of the demo. You can jump and hide through different buildings and stuff like that. You're trying to figure out your way around this world and get through the obstacles. And this game was so much fun. It's so chaotic because you want to shoot, you want to be able to do all of this and running, but you quickly realize like, well, crap, I only have so much blood. So I can't just shoot with abandon. I have to be more careful. And it was a struggle for me because I'm not always the most careful. Like, especially in games, I'm like, look, I can swing my way through it. I can shoot my way through it. I'll find some more ammo. And you'll see very quickly as we're watching this, me sort of be like, well, crap, I need to conserve this. Or you'll see me just literally running around the stage at points. Like, I need to find some place where I can absorb more blood. So it's
see.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna ask if there's any kind of penalty for reloading early. Because in some games, like, you know, if you have 2 bullets left and you reload, you essentially lose that ammo. I guess to be more realistic, but it looks like in this game you just fill up your clip, I guess.
Yeah. So the amount of blood loss, like, you're not necessarily, I guess, in a sense, saying like, okay, 10 vials of blood for 10 ammo, no matter what. It is each little, like, each bullet is however much blood it takes for that bullet. As you can see here, this is another part that was just it's almost to be expected, but it was funny. If you shoot off the certain part of like the torso, the legs will still keep coming at you, and they will just kick you. Like, they'll just keep kicking you. So this is where I was talking about absorbing like the horse, and obviously it's a larger animal, so you get a lot more blood back. But it was this. It's very much, if you skip ahead, I want to say maybe to about I really can't see. Go back some. I think where I'm starting to, I can pull it up also just so I can give you a better timestamp. Where essentially you're starting to see where the big lady is coming. And you can see me running from her. Let me go to the live real quick, and while I'm talking, and all in all, I really wish that this one had a date more than anything, because this one felt, again, the most polished, the most ready to go. And as I was saying, this is the one that I'm very much the most interested in. Like, I really want to play this. I really want to play the full game of this.
Okay. This is I want to say I've seen this game at least 2 or 3 times in different showcases. So I was curious to see what the gameplay was going to be like, because I know when you had mentioned it to me and mentioned playing it at Next Fest, I was saying, like, took a look at the Steam page and like, oh, like, this kind of reminds me of BioShock.
There she is right there. Yeah. So that's the lady. That's so basically at this point, as you see, I'm trying to run from her. So like, she saw me there and I'm thinking like, okay, cool. She's over there. I'm basically trying to make my plot to, I'm trying to get to not necessarily like, so you see like the little icons, the triangle icons are what you can jump into to sort of hide out. And there's a circular icon at the bottom, and that's where I'm trying to get to. So I'm trying to figure out how to get there so I can break the chain, open the gate. And so what I'm doing, because she's large enough where my bullets don't really matter, even if I pull out the shotgun, it didn't. I'm trying to get her to run so I can know where I need to make my way and how I can figure out a path to get there quick enough. And this is probably the crux of the demo, at least for here, because it is very much, okay, how do I get here? Every movement I make, she starts to hear, and she starts running after you, and she's fast as shit. So like, the stage will start shaking as she gets closer because of her steps are so big and like heavy for the world. And it's one of those things where you're like, crap, okay, I made a wrong turn. I need to figure out what am I doing, because now you have to make your way back. And now you have to figure out a way how to properly either get to the right area where she can't go underneath the stall, or she can't go through this, or you just need to be able to find your way to get back into a building and be able to hide. So it's one of those things. And like, we're getting closer to where I'm getting closer to the end of the demo. And that's why you're starting to see stuff like this. Like, it took me a minute to get to this because I was running around so much that I wasn't able to get to a point where I was able to start getting to where I can figure out where I needed to go.
Oh.
But that's probably me just being in a panic. Like if I would have sat down and thought, like as you could tell, when that last time I'm looking at the map, I wasn't doing that as much. Like I'm like, holy shit, how do I get out of here? How do I get away from her? And it created sort of the tenseness of the game, which is only fun, you know. Unless you're too scared.
I don't think this looks too bad at all. And I was actually back in the day when I was like, I only had a Xbox and I guess not disposable cash to play a bunch of games. I would watch a lot of different YouTubers play games, and one of them was BioShock. And I thought BioShock was like kind of scary, but I still wanted to play it myself, and that's kind of the vibe I get from this. Although I don't, at least like BioShock just has the most random jump scares that like you never would have expected something to happen, and then like this like give you a heart attack. And I don't know, does this game have something similar where it kind of just comes out of nowhere?
I didn't see too many jump scares like where it's gonna pop up right on the screen, like right in your face. But those marionette dolls essentially, they'll pop out of anywhere. So like as you can see, this is me very much trying to plot like, okay, if I go into this room or I go into this building, I'll be fine. There were times where I would go into one and all of a sudden something's in there, so it's like it's waiting for me, like, I got you. And it's like, oh, okay. So there is that. This is when I got the shotgun.
Okay. And then go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this is where you're gonna see how much of the blood takes off from the shotgun. So I think I shoot it twice immediately just to see how much bullets it's gonna take.
Mm-hmm.
But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, is there any chance that you can fight the big lady that's chasing you at some point, or is that just like an enemy you have to avoid?
So not with the current weapons, and trust me, I think this might also be that part where I think like, oh, the shotgun must give me the chance. Like, I assume like you have to power up to get it. So I come in here guns blazing. I got you. I got a shotgun now. As you can see, I'm definitely trying to hide and still do it, but I'm like, yeah, I can shoot you. Realize very quickly that did nothing, so I run. But it doesn't say like explicitly like, hey, you're never going to be able to fight these. It just says they're too strong for you, which implies that, okay, eventually you'll get stronger. Maybe you get a bigger gun or something. Like I thought the shotgun was going to be the gun, but maybe you get like a bazooka or something, or maybe you get like better melee weapons.
I wonder then, because all these weapons take blood, so how would you shoot something like a bazooka or a machine gun or anything like that?
Something has to unlock, like, and throughout the demo, my blood never changed from where it's at now. Like, and you see, it's like, it feels like,
I was wondering if it was like half,
So I was imagining that something eventually has to unlock the rest of that. And I think that's where it's like, there were nothing where I was leveling up. It was just, okay, I found this new weapon. I was going about it. And I don't know if that's purely designed for the demo or if that's the case of the game overall. But
there's a skills tab. Did you look into that?
I didn't look at that tab at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I ever touched that tab. And I wonder if that was no, because I'm trying. Well, I guess you do pick up currency. And I wonder if that's what you need to use to. I just assumed that a merchant was going to pop up at some point. No one ever did in the demo, but now it makes sense where I was, because that was one thing I was going to bring up when I saw it happening. I'm like, I never figured out what that merchant tab was for, or like where the merchants were, and maybe it was purely for the skills.
Oh, there you go. Give you a reason to play the demo again.
I think I will.
The fact that they're still kicking this is funny.
It's insane. And you just see me swinging for my life. Because at some point, you start to realize, like, I can't just keep shooting with reckless abandon. And in this situation where the monster is still kicking you, you're like, crap. And you saw how much blood that the shotgun took away. And that was just for one bullet.
Oh, man.
So I think it's a case like that. And like I said, I have to assume that at some point the second half of that gauge has to open up.
Yeah, you think so.
But yeah, that's pretty much this game. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. I did look, the demo is still available. I think the demo is just available indefinitely, but it's something that I think you should definitely play. Anybody who's watching this, it's a good time. It's fairly quick too. I spent majority of the time running, and I think if you run with purpose, you could finish it a lot quicker than I did. But I was also having a good time running and trying to figure out different places to hide and stuff.
Oh, cool. Oh, man.
Yeah. I got
she not go under that?
No, so she can't go underneath that. There's another part where it's like there's like a thing, like a cart basically holding open this gate, but it can't hold it open fully. So she can't go underneath that. So like when I learned that, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I could be right in her face. And I thought I was going to be able to trick it and start using the bullets eventually. It still doesn't work. And I realized very quickly, like, I'm just wasting blood at this point. Because it's like, after a certain point, I don't know how many of those things, like the things that are able to be absorbed, are around this stage. So after a while, like obviously where I'm at now, I'm like, crap, am I going to be able to absorb and get more blood? Or this is just where I'm at? I now have to absorb hits. I have to watch all of that. And it makes you think a little bit more. It makes you... Oh yeah, this is one of the times she got me. And yeah, so stuff like that. But overall, like I said, this is a very fun game.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was I'm thinking like, I wonder if one of the skills could be like a healing factor kind of thing. Even though like people naturally like replenish lost blood, it does take time, but it does happen. So I was wondering if maybe instead of that being like something you have off rip, that's like a skill that you can unlock or something at some point, where you're like, fair. After a certain amount of time, like you start to replenish your blood.
The one thing I think is a drawback is that map is confusing. So because it's the singular map, it changes with the areas you are. So like, obviously when I just pulled it up, it's showing me this general vicinity. But when I go back through that gate, it's going to change. So there were so many times, it seems like it's like in reference to where you currently are. Like I think it might be showing a full scope of the entire stage, but like in reference to where you are. And there were so many times I was getting confused and I would backtrack on accident because it'll show it to me like this. But then once I get to this part again, it's going to show like parts are red again. And those are parts that you haven't explored. So like I think I pull it back up right once I get to like, I'm like right when I get into here, I'm probably gonna pull up the map again. I'm trying to remember exactly where I was, but like now certain parts are red. And obviously this was blue because that's where I just came from. But in reference to where I am now, there's a whole other part that I haven't explored. And so I was getting kind of confused there. And I think that also took into influence of why it took a little longer than it probably would if you're paying more attention. But yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being confusing, and I'm not sure why they went about it that way.
I'm not sure either.
But overall, seems like, a good time.
It was, yeah, for sure. None of that detracted from the enjoyment that I had, because I also, like I said, was just having a lot of fun baiting her into running after me, and then when I get away, you get the thrill of like, hell yeah, you ain't get me. Look at it, look at it. So,
Well, dude, I definitely have this one on my list. So next time I get to playing some demos, y'all will see me on this.
Nice. I look forward to it.
Let's see. On to what is this? I might have the wrong thing. Hold up.
I was gonna say, I see you. I didn't know you played another horror game.
That's actually, I think it's Reloaded.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Thank you, Rob. The House of Horror. Let me see. Did I pull
Oh,
the
I thought
wrong
the game
thing?
was called House of Horrors.
Oh, I think I did. I think I messed up the timestamp. The game is
Mm.
actually Hermit and Pig. It's actually Hermit and Pig, which I did previously play on another Next Fest. Happy Lunch Studio actually sent me the demo 2.0 a little bit early before Next Fest, so shout out to them.
Nice.
I was not able to play it before Next Fest, but I do still appreciate them thinking of me, and I'm very much so looking forward to the full release of this game. But to kind of break down Hermit and Pig, they have the Steam summary. It is a story-rich, turn-based RPG where you fend off wild assailants, forage mushrooms, survive social anxiety, and stumble into a corporate conspiracy with your trusty pig.
Oh.
And I know, and I haven't even experienced some of that stuff towards the end. But I think it's really interesting, and especially with you playing a hermit that's like yeah, antisocial, I think is a correct way to describe it. But because of the situation that's happening around him, where like the community, I believe like there's a factory that a corporation has shut down. So like a lot of people in the town lost their jobs. They're hungry. They're looking for food. So a little
Okay.
girl goes out into the woods to find this hermit that everybody knows like lives in the forest, eats mushrooms, all of that. And she's like, if you can help me find like the big omega mushroom, like we can feed the village for a little while. So that's basically what Hermit and Pig's goal is, to learn more about this mega mushroom that can feed the town.
Nice.
And through this adventure, you meet all sorts of quirky people. And one of the interesting things, there's like multiple different, like you go into let me see, I've been looking at the Steam page this whole time. There we go. So you go into like these different battle situations. Like this one is against like just the most of the time it's against like whatever you find in nature. Like it could be bugs, could be fish, could be snakes, like things like that. But there are also moments, let me see, when you're talking with people, it also treats like a battle situation, which is kind of funny. Um, because I don't have severe like social anxiety like this, but it's like, sometimes it does feel like the interaction is like you're going back and forth, you're making these choices, and you
Mm-hmm.
feel like the meme, like everybody disliked that from
Yeah.
Fallout. It's like sometimes you feel that. So I thought this was interesting too, that like you don't just have a conversation with someone, like it actually is like an engagement where you have to try to act normal essentially. Like they have a bunch of different dialogue options that you can pick through, and only one of them is like the most normal or like most acceptable, and it actually does vary person to person, just like
Interesting.
in real life, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I really enjoy the art direction with this game. This immediately, first time seeing it, which I don't even remember how long ago it was, but I thought it was going to be like more of a cozy game because like, everybody's like super like squanched and like chibi. And I think it could be to an extent, but I also think that there are some deeper themes in it too, talking about like the corporations controlling different towns and the effects of that, like social anxiety and dealing with those things, and how do you like kind of overcome some of those fears to connect with people, and also just learning a little bit more about nature, mushrooms in particular. You
I'm
learn a lot
glad you
about
didn't pick,
those.
by the way. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I had just happened to read her response, her statement, and I'm glad you didn't pick the we'll escort you because you're small and weak. She was like she
Oh
just
yeah.
got beat up by a catfish or something.
Mm-hmm. The first time playing this, I didn't know that I was going to be penalized for picking different options. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I picked that one in particular, but I was picking things that I thought was funny. And then I would get there's like a feedback response where they go like, and I'm like, wait, what was that? I'm like, what did I do wrong? I just said something funny. And it wasn't the socially correct thing to say. So
Yeah, that would have been a crazy response.
The other interesting thing with the combat is that there are different combinations that you learn. So it's almost kind of like you play different like fighting games or action games where you're supposed to like memorize a combo. There's like
Yeah.
a little bit of that here too. And even there is a certain amount of time you have to use a combo as well. And certain enemies have like certain weaknesses, like bugs, for example. You should stop versus snakes. You should like I think you hit them with your cane and all this other kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's so aggressive.
That's how the attack looks. Okay.
It's so aggressive.
That was very aggressive.
The first time I saw it, I actually screamed because I didn't know what was happening. I'm like, why? What did I do? Yeah, nature just comes and like attacks you. Like, I don't know what I did.
That's fair.
But you do have, like, as you saw on the screen, you do have like these random encounters. The like slam is like a special move that I don't remember it being in the first demo. Either that or like they've changed how the special move operates.
Okay.
It does get a little tricky after a while. It's basically like, you're just matching the button to the timing. As you can see, I was not doing well towards the end. I got 20 of them though, 20 hit points. So got the job done. But yeah, I very much enjoy Hermit and Pig. I feel like it's a good combination between like a cozy kind of comedic RPG and also kind of tackling some heavier topics, which I didn't get too far into since this is just the beginning of the game, I believe.
Sure.
But yeah, it seems like it's doing a lot of interesting stuff.
Nice. So quick question for you. I was noticing if you go back to the combat, obviously you have the timer on the side, but then they had like, it looks like a red box that was going up and down in the timer. What exactly, not in this part,
it'll come up in this.
Okay, yeah.
There we go.
So like that red box that's going up and down, obviously like I can tell that the green going down is the timer, but what is the red box doing?
So every once in a while, you'll have that red box that is floating on the timer. And if you're able to time your attack so that it's within the red box, you get critical.
So like if the top of the green of the timer is inside that box?
Yes.
Interesting. That's neat.
Yeah, so sometimes I was cutting it close because I'm like, I try and get that critical hit, but other times it's like I don't have enough time to wait. I have to just attack now. So that's another like interesting part of the combat too. There's like a lot of timing. There's some memorization with the different combos, and also like recognizing weaknesses. And then a little bit later in the demo, you actually get to Pig plays a more active role where he basically eats some of like the crazy mushrooms that Hermit had eaten earlier, and he starts speaking to Hermit, like Hermit can understand him. I don't know if it's just Hermit can understand him or if Pig literally starts speaking English.
Yeah
because I don't think any other person was around when Pig started speaking. So we'll have to see later in the full game. But as you can see, like Pig now has a little health bar. He has attacks that he can do. But he also, kind of similar to, I think, a lot of RPGs or JRPGs where like different party members have like different attributes. Pig can protect Hermit from damage, like incoming damage with certain attacks. Pig can also attack multiple enemies at the same time. He can also do hit just one enemy at a time, but he's not as much of a powerhouse as like Hermit is. So there's like it does add another strategic element as far as like, do I want Pig to protect me? Do I want Pig to give me that like last little nudge with the enemy might need to die? Or there's like you can also use Pig to spy on an enemy and figure out what their weakness is. So that's kind of what you see. Let me see. This is Pig's special. Let me go back like 2 seconds. But the cane and the boot, that's like something that was activated from Pig's ability, the spy ability. So you can see like, okay, I should use cane or I should kick the snake.
Okay, neat. So you said this is. I'm curious. Like, so this just says bounty. I'm obviously you said it's special. I was just curious. What does it do?
So it's kind of similar to a Hermit's ability to where you're like at a certain amount of time you need to hit certain buttons. In this case, it's like a combo of buttons.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is more intensive than
the
other one.
So the more successful you are with this one, the more
Wow.
mushrooms and stuff that you can get. So it's kind of like gotcha feels like the wrong thing to say, but you get like a random assortment of mushrooms, and like the better
Okay.
your score is, like the better the mushrooms will be, basically.
Okay. So this isn't about anything about getting like attack power or anything.
No, no, no. Yeah. So you see, you get like items at the end
Yeah.
of that.
Okay.
And you use mushrooms to heal. I think they also provide other benefits that I have not explored yet, but for the most part, I've been using the mushrooms to heal.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very cute, very fun.
It looks
I'm
like it.
yeah, I think that's it. I think I don't know if the special demo just dropped for Next Fest only. For a limited time. Demo might not be up there.
Mm,
It may or may not be up. I don't think they said we're only sharing this demo version through the end of Next Fest. So make sure you try it out while you can. So I don't know if that means there's a different demo version that's still available, or if the demo is just not available in general. But you should definitely go to the Steam page to learn more. Maybe the demo works. It likely seems like it will. But you can wishlist it so that way you know perhaps when another demo will come out.
nice.
Let's see. Pulling up Digis demo here. Oh, that was StreamYard. Almost left.
Ooh. Ooh, so this one, why did I pick this part for it to start? But this one is Corner Shop Night Shift. It's by Live Motion Games, developed and published. I think it's also being co-published by Playway, which it says Playway South America, so maybe specifically for that region. But this game, it's very much similar in vein to when we played Shift at Midnight, where you are doing a night shift at a corner store, or I think that one was a gas station. In this case, the corner store, and weird stuff like you have to go through the motions of bagging up all of this stuff and restocking the shelves and all that. But what's different about this one from Shift at Midnight, in where Shift at Midnight was very much in you need to identify whether or not your customers are human or not. This one is just about weird stuff is happening in and around the store. So you might go back to the stock room, and the guy who you're playing, he's definitely on medication, and so that's sort of what they sort of attribute it to. But you might see instances where you see something that's not there, or like the lights will go out, and now you have to go turn on the light. You turn on the generator, but above the generator, he's seeing theoretically a hallucination, but you're seeing something that's there, and his life is very much falling apart. Like,
Yeah,
as you can see from these messages, like his life is very much like he's going through a divorce. He doesn't have a lot of money. Seems like he has a good relationship with his daughter, at least. So there's that. But it's very much a you got this job because you need it, and throughout that you are having to deal with a lot of the BS that comes with, especially a shop at night, where it's like at one point you had to run to the corner store or like the drugstore to get like aspirin and stuff like that. But it is a case of dealing with all of the store. Like bagging in this store is way different than bagging at Shift at Midnight. Like I had to actually click the item, scan it, and drag it into the bag. So like, if you go ahead a little bit, because obviously this is just me heading towards the store. But if you skip ahead a little bit, you can sort of see me restocking. You can see me picking up the items, and then eventually having to go in and deal with the customers. The other thing that was different from Shift at Midnight to this one, there's no multiplayer aspect of it. So I don't know if that's, again, going to be something that they would want to add later. But as of now, there's no multiplayer, but also different items go into different places. So like when I start having to stock the ice cream or like a beer and soda and stuff like that, you have to make sure it's going into the fridges and making sure it's going into the freezer. If somebody's buying beer, you need to check their ID. I never saw what would happen if like you missed checking ID. Like you are forced to check the ID, but if I sold it to them anyway, it never said anything what would happen, and I just didn't do it. I was definitely being a good employee. But you do have to do stuff like that. Like I had to go and mop the floors, like in Shift at Midnight, where you only have to mop after you took out Imposter. You literally had to go and like, hey, these floors are dirty, so I'm going in there mopping them up. I'm checking the tapes and stuff like that. And so like this, you're going to see how I had to like how you literally have to go make sure the bag is there, grab it, scan it, and then put it into the bag and stuff like that. So they took the shop aspect of it very real, but it also made the aspect where things started going crazy that much more real, because you're in an instance like this, you're just doing your job, then the lights go out, and you're like, oh, fuck, the lights are out. Now you're irritated having to go check it. Then when you go through the door and you see something, you're like, oh crap, this ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to do my job.
What was that? Was that a hazmat suit?
That's how it is. Like you'll just see random stuff when you come back in here. So like, let me and I wish I would have I should have had another timestamp here for one of the instances where the lights went out, but like when the lights go out, you see weird stuff. And this is a game. I think if Shift at Midnight would have played a little bit like this, you probably would have been a lot more afraid. Just from not liking like jump scares and stuff, because this game definitely had jump scares and everything.
Oh yeah. What's interesting is that there's Shift at Midnight, there's Corner Shop. What is it? Corner Shop, Night Shift. And then there's Hellmart. They're all three like pretty similar and have like kind of cropped up around the same time. But Hellmart, I believe, is actually fully out. You might like that, Dig. It's pretty similar to like what this game is. I don't think there's as much of a story around the like who you're playing as far as like what's going on in their life, so to speak.
Yeah,
but it's pretty similar.
If
you're not like sussing people out, though, it's kind of just like keeping the demons at bay.
And I will say in this, I don't feel like you were doing any sussing anybody out. Like I said, we're scanning the ID, taking pictures and stuff, but I none of this felt like I was trying to see whether or not this person was human or not. Like if you go to 30650, that's where it's like right before the lights go out. So like you'll see me just going about my day, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. So like, you know, I'm in the middle of scanning, he's buying beer, I'm trying to get him to show his ID and stuff. This is how the ID pops up, and like I said, I wonder if I would have just clicked like looks fine to me in one that was clearly not fine. But like, see, okay, the lights go out, and I'm like, all right, blackout, whatever. This must have been the first time, so it's telling me how to get the lights to come back on. Fine. And then when you go into the room where you have to figure it out, that's where you'll see like the jump scare, and you're just like, oh crap, you know, this is not what I'm expecting. And that's where like the horror aspect of the game starts to come in. It's very easy to get lost in the mundane of the game, but again, I think that's kind of what makes it scary. Like you're like, oh crap, what is that? And
yeah, what the heck?
You basically got to flash it in order to get it to go away. And I was kind of struggling at it. So like, you see my health is kind of going down. I never got to the point where I ended up dying or anything, but I felt like I was close because I couldn't figure out what it meant by flash it. And it really just meant like flash your light at it. Like you're essentially like you're taking the picture and stuff. And so again, the horror aspect was there. That's exactly what I was pretty much doing with all my Next Fest games, but it was interesting. I very much had a good time with this.
Wow. Yep.
I said, this one is definitely a lot more. It happens less frequently than Shift at Midnight, like the scariness aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
but random stuff pops up where the ability for a jump scare is a lot more frequent, because there are times where the lights probably didn't go out, but you go into the back room and you'll see like a what he's calling a hallucination, but it's like something's there and you're like, oh crap, what the hell did that come from? So yeah.
Does the character that you're playing as, does his life play somewhat of a role in this game, or it's kind of just like background, it's like who you are, what you're doing?
I think it plays a role in the fact of, like I said, his life is very much falling apart. He's definitely a person on meds and stuff like that. And you kind of get the feeling that like other people in the world think that that's the reason. So like at certain points, you talk to his therapist, and at first I thought it was just going to be all through the phone, but they had like a literal cutscene where you're sitting there talking to the therapist. And one of the options you can sort of say like, hey, I'm seeing stuff. And so I chose that. And the therapist kind of just like writes it off as like, all right, we might need to change your meds up and stuff like that. And so obviously as you get more into the game, I feel like you got to kind of start weighing that. Like maybe he starts to say like, you know what, maybe I don't need to take these, so that way he can hope to not. So like you saw when you went to that room, there was something right there. And like, it's very much stuff like that throughout the game. This game is more eerie than anything.
I see. Okay.
But yeah, this is the demo is still up, so if you would like to play it, definitely go over to Steam. I don't see anything about the demo like being up again for a temporary time. Matter of fact, they had something about a demo update, so it sounds like it's here for the long haul.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Well, people, give it a try, especially I think if you liked Hellmart or even Shift of Midnight. I think this might be something you'd be interested in.
Hellmart.
Yeah, I think you would like it. Let's see. Next one we have. This was another group game, and this was Yap Yap. I tried to get to the part. I think this is where all three of us were playing. Yeah. Okay, Trayvon's in there. So we actually played this. I played this with Dig and Trayvon, and I thought this was like a really cool, I guess like technical showcase with the voice to spell commands, where you're basically you go up to like a tree and you're able to pull off these twigs, and from there you can cast spells just by saying like the words at the bottom of the screen. Now granted, and y'all know I'm a big typography person in terms of, is this legible? Like, can you read this? And some of the times you don't really know what the spell is that you're supposed to be saying, but you're just like, I try and get close enough. And I feel like we were able to say most, if not all, the spells after a little while. Now, as far as like what this game is, let's go to the Steam page here. So this is developed and published by Mason Bap, and they describe it as an online co-op horror game where up to six people, okay. 6 wizard minions go into an archmage's tower using an assortment of spells to vandalize, break, and steal, but beware the horrifying magic creatures that roam the halls. So this was an interesting case because we all kind of walked into it thinking that we were going to be able to use some of these spells to fight the enemies that were in the dungeon, but that was not the case. It's kind of similar to Crystal. Is it Crystal?
Creasol.
Similar to Creasol, where there's like, an enemy that you just cannot mess with. Except that's all the enemies in this game.
Yes.
You have to avoid pretty much everybody. At least the way that the game is built right now, maybe they'll add some more powerful spells later on. But you are not able to fight anybody. And I think it would have been good for them to have also said that in the demo, or do like some kind of intro story sequence or something, like, oh man, like I'm so weak, I can't fight back, or something like that. I don't know. But just a way to kind of set that expectation for people, because I know at least for our group, we would run in a couple times, like try and fight somebody, like use these different spells. Which, by the way, Aerobus trash. We were trying to use these different spells, and they were just not effective against the enemies that were in the castle. So we eventually figured out, like, hey, we should probably just avoid these people,
Yeah.
and try and make our way around. So this is actually what's on screen is one of the puzzles that we came across that took a little while to figure out. I honestly am still not fully sure what the solution was. I kind of was just like going from soft to quiet volume wise. At first, I thought it was like low to high pitch, which was that was hilarious. That was a funny.
We tried everything. We tried looking different directions. Like,
yeah, we tried a lot of stuff, but we eventually got it, and I think we unlocked like a wand and maybe a couple other things. But yeah, I feel like the lack of direction as far as like, you know, you can't fight any of these enemies. You're really supposed to be trying to avoid them. I think being more clear about that is something I would put on my critique, as well as general lack of direction, as in like not really knowing where we're supposed to be going or what we're supposed to be. There is like an objectives tab where you can see like, oh, you're supposed to break like X number of things, or supposed to like do like different kinds of vandalism and things like that. But as far as like navigating this castle, since you can see there's like so many different places to go, it would have been nice to, I guess, understand like maybe like what areas have the best opportunity to like burn paintings or break sofas, different things like that. Yeah, do you have anything you want to add, Didge?
No, I mean, I think a lot of that you definitely hit on the head, where it's like, this game, very much fun just to try out all of the different spells, especially in the fact that you're speaking them. It very much gives you the more of an illusion of you are actually doing magic.
Yeah.
But the biggest drawback was so many times we just didn't know what we were doing. So like, it's one of those things where, again, like you said, a little bit of direction would have been ideal. Even if the direction was, hey, you just need to destroy stuff. Because the first few rounds that we played, we were just kind of getting our bearings, and like, we didn't realize that destroying stuff, like, at least for me personally, I won't speak for you or Trayvon, I saw the thing that said like, hey, you know, destroy X amount of boxes and stuff like that. It just felt like they were side missions. And so to find out as we were playing the game more and more, to realize, oh, this is literally just what we're here for. We're just here to cause destruction and chaos. It kind of like, I won't say ruined, because I still had a great time playing it, but it did kind of throw it all for a loop. And it kind of made some of the wands that the other wands, like obviously the starting wands had the 3 spells, but some of the other wands now kind of made more sense. Like the arcane wand that just kind of split you and then also changed you into like a throw cushion, or like a throw cushion, or just other little objects. It made so there were no offensive magic.
Yeah. Now that I'm like seeing the playback, the having the night system and like only having a certain amount of time to do the objectives is something that I don't think we were aware of until it started saying like, oh, we're counting down, like the night one is almost over. Like, oh, okay. So I think definitely just being more clear about like, hey, these are what the objectives are. Like, this is what you can do in the game. This is what you can't do as far as like attacking enemies and whatnot. I think would have been more helpful just to kind of set people on to the right track. But I'm really fascinated with like how they're able to get the like voice detection like so good, because I don't think voice detection for the most part, at least, and I don't know if I ever really tried voice detection in games, but even with just like speaking with our, like, you know, the AIs that are on our phones, like sometimes it's very shaky if they fully understood what we were asking or not. So the fact that this, I would say a good a portion of the time was able to pick up like, hey, oh, they're saying like Aerobus, or they're saying like up dog, like they're saying these different spells, like we recognize that. I think that's pretty cool. It does make me wonder for non-English speaking people, or even just people from like, you could say deep south or like up north with stronger accents, how that would if that would like mess with the system at all. But
yeah, I didn't even think of that. That has to be interesting.
Overall, I think it worked pretty well. And I also found it interesting or like funny, like the way that these characters look, just like little trolls or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they were. It definitely, like, when you think about it, like they're just supposed to be there for mischievous things. They look mischievous as shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed Yap Yap. I'm gonna keep my eye on it and see if there are any more developments, because I do think that they do have a good base to build from, but there's still definitely some things that they can work on as far as like giving direction, maybe even adding some kind of, if not offensive spell, like something defensive, where like, hey, I'm kind of getting pinned in a corner, like I need this like emergency backup spell or something like that.
Yeah, you can remove the dirty wand. That wand was useless.
You say that now, Didge, but you was using it quite a bit.
It was funny. It's very funny.
Funny to you, Didge. Funny to you.
But it's not needed at all. Like, even in the scope of being able to vandalize things, I don't know what that would have done.
That's a good point. I was kind of thinking about that, and like, because the dirty one lets you like pee on stuff and
throw up on stuff.
I guess maybe you could have ruined a painting or something.
Maybe. Oh, I didn't think about that. I think we ended up dying maybe before I could get to any of those. Or maybe the night ran out. Like, obviously you're seeing the time go down. Maybe it was that.
Yeah.
That's right. I was stuck behind the cage because I ran.
Oh yeah. I think you got.
Yeah, well, that's what happened after.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know you popped out like that.
Yeah, no, it sent me back to the lobby.
Why did I do me like that? Oh,
yeah, it was crazy. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, I think the other thing, speaking of like the objectives, I almost feel like there were too many objectives too. Like, I think because this game feels to me like kind of a little friend sloppy in terms like you get together with your friends, you have some fun.
Yeah,
and I feel like with the number of objectives that they had on the little menu, it seems like you really got to be locked in. Like, hey, you go do this task, I'll go do that task. We'll like get back together. We'll tackle the next thing, because there were like a lot of them. And granted, we weren't really playing seriously, so maybe you don't need to do it that way, and you would accomplish everything. But I don't know, it seemed like a lot to do. I also like the proximity chat. The proximity chat was fun.
Proximity chat, yeah, it was great.
It didn't make me concerned for you a few times when you walked off.
That was specifically when I went and got the arcane wand, because it was that one, because I was like, bro, I need to find a better wand, because that wand sucked. And it's like, I think in the case of needing to be able to do destruction and stuff, it probably would have worked out. But at the time, we were kind of still in the idea of like, okay, we got to be ready to fight something.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't fight nothing if it's just, I can create a duplicate or I could turn into a cushion.
Yeah, I think that's another good point, is that I think they wanted people to be creative as far as like the uses for these wands.
Fair.
But I also think it could have been helpful to be like, hey, you could use the wand in like X, Y, or Z way, just to give people something to start with. Because some of the spells, like, I think that there's one where you can like send a clone out. I never got to test to see if that would like throw enemies off or not, but we'll use that in this example.
It didn't.
Oh,
I tried.
Well, so in that case, it's like, well, give me an example as to like why this would be useful, or like why I would want to use this spell. Because right now I'm like, I don't understand what the intent would be, you know? So I think explaining that a little bit more. I'm trying to think because I feel like there's so many spells and like you don't want to like tutorialize people to death with all of this. I don't know what the best way would be to communicate that, but I do feel like it needs to be communicated.
I mean, I feel like if you would have had like a pop-up, like the first time you get the wand, like even if it's just the first time your team encounters the wand, hey, you got this, and you show like the little, like basically like they do anytime in any game when you get a new weapon or something. It's not showing you everything, but it's, oh, this is your new thing, and it shows you like the little gif of whatever's happening over and over. So that way you at least get an idea of what you're trying to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that will work versus I don't think you needed to go full blown tutorial or like full blown training mode. Just a little something to give you the idea, because even in the case, not all the words are necessarily very much conducive to what the wand's ability is going to be. Like, for example, with this one, like Dub Illu, that makes sense. Like Dub Illusion, you can sort of get what that is going to be, but I can't even remember what the other one was. But it didn't tell you that you were going to transform.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think this game has a lot of potential. The core mechanics as far as like casting the spells and being able to explore and everything, I think is good. Just need to refine like the direction, I think.
I agree.
That was yep. Let me see. Is the demo could still be up? It seems like they haven't posted anything on their community page.
I do see still like able to be downloaded and added to your library. But whether or not that means that it still has a license when you do so, I cannot say.
Yeah. So you'll just have to see for yourself.
Give it a try. Good luck.
Roll the dice. Next one is Arc Raiders, and Dig invited me and Trayvon to play this one.
Yeah, so this is an extraction shooter from Embark Studios. This is one that been seeing everywhere. Like it definitely. Because so this weekend,
I feel like since you invited me to play, I've been seeing it everywhere now.
That's also fair. Well, so what happened was this past weekend was their server stress test, where they wanted any and everybody to play it, and it was so that way they can overload their servers and make sure that it's ready for full time. And the more and more I talk about it and rewatch it, I think I'm turning the corner on this game. So like, I always thought that this game was fun. I originally was saying I don't know if this would be one that I would pay $40 for. I'm turning the corner on that now. So like, typical extraction shooter, it's very much you go in, get your stuff, and get out. So like you're searching the areas, you're trying to avoid bosses, both human and non-human, and you're looking for the best loot and getting out of there. That game loop is very fun. That game loop worked really well. I was initially on the fence of, is that a $40 game loop that I would enjoy? I'm not saying like, is it a $40 game loop that anybody would enjoy? Because obviously, if you look at the internet right now, so many people are like, yo, I can't wait for this to come out. I will for sure be playing it. And before the playtest ended, I just played another round with like just some random people. And I can see where the enjoyment is. Obviously, we spent a lot of our time just sort of trying to figure out the game.
Yeah.
And so once you kind of know what you're doing, like if we would have came back a second day, I think our enjoyment would have been a lot higher, because we kind of, and you can tell even as we were getting towards the end of our playing, we were starting to understand where to go, find different stuff, how to get in and get out. Like we were having more success in like, I think when you start to get into it, I think it's something that you definitely would want to play with friends. And it's just, you definitely need, in my opinion, before you make that investment. You have to have friends be like, no, yeah, we'll play this once a week or every so often or something, because this is very much a game that is centered around you need people with you. But overall, fun experience. It's I hadn't played any Extraction in so long, so I forgot about the sobering experience of when you die out there, you lose all your stuff. So going out there, spending all your time to craft and everything, and then getting taken out and being like, oh, I don't have that anymore. Or like when you spend money on a gun and it's taken from you and you're just like, oh, it's a sobering experience, but it is part of the experience.
They do. So first time playing this with you guys, I was like having an okay time. Like I was like, this is probably a game I'm not really gonna come back to. I don't understand what's going on. And I don't know, I just wasn't having the best time. But kind of to what you were saying about like the more we played it and like kind of the more you see of the game and understand like what the objectives are, I think that opens the doors to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
But I think if there was a tutorial for this, but I don't know if the tutorial just didn't explain things well or it didn't just fully click until later on for me. But
I feel like also with the tutorial, we were all in the chat together already. So like I don't know how much, at least for me, and again, I won't speak for you or Trayvon, for me specifically, because I'm talking to you guys, I'm paying attention, but I'm also kind of just going through the motions to get to the point where we can all play together. And so I could very well see how I didn't pick up on some things. Like you said, watching other people play it as well, I'm like, oh crap, I would love to have got to the point where I could have did that. And I don't know if it's because of where we went with the trailer or with the tutorial.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why, like, even though I didn't have the best time with the game, just seeing like people's excitement and enjoyment around this game made me want to dive a little bit deeper and just like see more of it. And now I'm definitely like, okay, I kind of understand like kind of what you're supposed to be doing and the order of which things are supposed to happen, because there is kind of a loop where you get like goods or weapons, like things to sell. You'll come back and you'll like upgrade your equipment, and then you're able to kind of engage in more dangerous battles, like that big spider thing that we see and that we absolutely were not prepared to fight, or even just some of the firefights that we got into with other actual players that were running around during this server jam or server bash. I forget what they called it. So I think had I gone into it with that mindset of like, okay, like first we're going out here, we're scavenging, we're getting materials, and then we're trying to get better weapons, so if someone does run up on us, like we're able to kind of fight back a little bit better, probably would have had a better time with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's with anything, you got to figure, since this was the server stress test, we were probably running into people who've been playing since the first beta.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's not the worst thing in the world, but it definitely impacts on your enjoyability, especially when you're still trying to figure out the game.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. The safety pocket. Like I should have used the safety pocket. I was just putting junk in there.
I was watching, I think it was Berlizzi play it, and like him and I forgot who the guy he was playing with, but you could tell that they had, like, before they did the video, that you could tell that wasn't their first time playing. So, they had legit plans. They were going in there trying, like, they knew what buildings to try to go loot and stuff to get like the best gear. I'm like, we did none of that. No, we were just like, all right, we landed somewhere. Let's just see what's around us. Like, and so I think going in and planning and doing more stuff like that, like, I was like, crap, we probably would have had such a better time. Like, I very much did. I talk a lot about how this was reminiscent of the Division's Dark Zone area. And I guess on that flip side, I forgot about how much you would plan before you go into your Dark Zone areas in Division. Like, me and my cousin would literally be like, all right, we meeting up. All right, we know that there's something here, and here. We're going to go. This is the route we're going. And I don't know why it didn't click to me that we should have did that with this.
Mm. No, I mean, we were all in the same boat, so we didn't know. We didn't know
Yeah,
what we
fair.
didn't know. But yeah, I definitely encourage people to get this game a try, and I think this is one of those games, not to try and again with the whole like short attention span thing, but like scare people off. But you will have to like put in at least a little bit of time to kind of
Yes.
understand what some of these game objectives are and ways that you can kind of get better loot and continue to get better, like those kinds of things. But a lot of people, a ton of people have been like really, really enjoying this game. So clearly, there is some value there. You just have to do a little bit of work to try and tap into it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whoever you play with, I think you can. 3 was the max for the squad. I don't know if they're upping that for the full release or not, but y'all definitely got to talk about what y'all doing before you get out there, or even if it's right when you land and you go into like a safe area and like, all right, like where are we headed from here? But this is not a game where you need to where you can just go like, all right, we just going around.
Yeah,
we probably stayed in super like. Yeah. I'm sure we stayed in like super low loot areas.
Yeah. Yep. It kind of makes you wonder. So you keep the loot between rounds, right?
Yeah. So as long as you make it to the extraction, it'll go into your overall inventory. Okay. And like obviously the inventory has a dedicated amount of space or whatever. But if it's anything like any other extraction shooter I've ever played, you'll be able to upgrade that. You can purchase like let's call it a locker in this case. Like you could purchase a separate locker to be able to hold more stuff. But
yeah,
a lot of the time,
craft a backpack to get more room.
Well, I'm saying even for like when you go back, because like even when you go back, that area is probably going to have a dedicated amount of inventory space as well.
I see.
So like, I know in the Division, like in their looting aspect of it, you were able to upgrade the amount of space that you were able to have there. I think it was through getting like other safe houses, if I remember correctly. But also, eventually you start getting stuff where you're like, I don't need this. Like you say, if you got enough guns, you're like, I don't need this gun anymore. I'm going to recycle it down for parts just to use it for something better. So it's very much a game that builds upon itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I agree.
So yeah, this is I like I said, I've turned the corner on this. I'm going to see around me who I know is going to get it. Like I think Bacardi was talking about, he's for sure getting it. I'm gonna see who else is before I say I'm going to for sure purchase it, because it's like I think this is a fun one.
This is while I have Game Pass. Is when I was like, please hit that Game Pass.
Seriously.
Like, cool. Actually, is this on console? I think this is on console, right?
It is on console, because even the beta stress test was on console.
Okay, cool, good. Well, good. This is kind of crazy to me that this is from the same studio that the finals. Like, it's very, very different from the finals.
It is.
But they know their stuff. They're like previous I think Battlefield devs, so definitely they're flexing their expertise with the shooters.
They're doing well. Like the actual shooting and all of that aspect of it was, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was great.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I think we are on to our last one, which is this is the one I had the double time step for.
Oh yes.
Reloaded. So Reloaded is a really interesting one, actually. Let me see. What the heck is this? This had like something for London Comic Con pop up on Steam. Interesting. So Reloaded is developed and published by Nyamakop. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but definitely go to the Steam page to see the name in writing. But their synopsis is: reclaim real African artifacts from Western museums in this Afro-futuristic heist game. Recruit crew members, plan escape routes, acquire the precious cargo, and bounce out of the joint as fast as you can. And that is a perfect summary of everything that you'll probably see here while I'm playing. So I think think this is the begin or the tutorial-ish area.
Are you like casing out the space?
Yeah, so what you can do, and I think I do a lot of this hovering. I might skip closer to when I actually attempt to do my run.
Okay.
But basically you're trying to reclaim these African artifacts, and they're put in these museums that, like you were saying, did you have to kind of case out, find where your exit routes are, and make sure you have like a clear exit plan. And there were 3 artifacts that I had to pick up in this one, and I think 2 of them were on like the upper floors and one was on the lower floor. But you saw just a minute ago, or even just like that like door that was kind of like shutting or trying to shut, but there was like something in the way. There are doors that will shut on you that you cannot get past if they shut. Like you'll have to find a different route. So while you're casing the place, you can kind of move things. So like, okay, this is a security door. Like, let me push this table so that way the security door can't fully close. Or I'll push your brother in the game. He's kind of like a hacker, and he can hack into some safes. And for some reason, the safes in this world have like 2 openings. So you can like crawl through the safe and use that as a way to like block security doors from closing as well. There are different members of the team that do. Okay, so let's see. I started a run here, but there are different members of the team that can do different things. There's a guy that he does a lot of grappling, kind of like parkour situation. Oh, I think this might be the run I fail. So he kind of helps you get to some higher areas that you wouldn't be able to get to on your own through just the I think you have a double jump.
Okay.
But yeah, you case things out and you're able to plant these, like, as you can see, the table stopped the security door.
Yep.
You're able to talk to your brother to like open and exit at the end, like set him up so that he's in place. And you're also able to use like the little drone camera that you saw at the beginning, to kind of like look at things from a zoomed out perspective and see like, okay, like this room connects to that room, or like there's no exit in this room, so I need to go down before I'm able to go out. And this is all supposed to be done. I don't know if they have a set time for each level, but I would say within a couple minutes or so, like you need to get all the artifacts and get out.
Okay.
So the other cool thing about this is the movement. Like obviously, you're gonna be slipping and sliding out of windows, like off balconies, that kind of thing. And I think the movement is really smooth. And as someone who is trying to get better at platforming, I no longer claim being bad. I feel like I'm doing okay
Nice.
this year. But I think it's like very easy to do a lot of these different like vaulting, sliding, parkour moves, which is great because I'm sure like if it was a little bit more technical, like that already adds another maybe unnecessary level of difficulty to the highest, where you have to plan things out and like try and already execute certain button props and things like that. But yeah, super easy to use these different parkour moves, very fluid, like it looks pretty effortless. Yeah, pretty effortless. And yeah, just interesting setups. I think this is the only map that you can do a like real heist on. There's a heist that you can kind of do in the tutorial, but you didn't set up any of the like exit plan or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, this was really cool. The other interesting thing about this game is like before the heist actually goes off, you can actually walk up and like examine these different African artifacts, and they actually do like have the history behind the artifact. I think they also have like where the artifact is actually being displayed in real life. So there is definitely like an activist kind of element to this game as well, and kind of bringing I think greater awareness. I think a lot of people should probably know, but greater awareness to like this issue with Western European countries claiming African artifacts and not giving it back to the people from these African countries.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So the cast is mostly Black. They do have a DI seemingly white. I don't know if he's actually white, but seemingly white hire on there as well. It unfortunately it does make me feel like he's gonna turn at some point, just because I'm like, I don't know, you're like you're a little bit of the odd one out here, but maybe that's not the case. So that's my own bias speaking, but I don't know. That does seem sus to me.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very fun. It's I feel like the closest I've ever felt to being like a speed runner, like setting everything up and then just like running through it. You can see I did that in like 50 seconds, whatever it is. So it's once things get going as far as the heist goes, it goes pretty fast. So it's a really good time. And I think it's good there's also like a little educational opportunity too with like learning more about the artifacts. And I thought that the characters were also very well written and like engaging too. I'm curious what the overall story is outside of course, like reclaiming these artifacts because
Yeah.
you can see I can't remember what the brother's name was, but he gets into some trouble with some people. I don't know what kind of deal he made, but
Oh.
yeah, Trevor he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing apparently. So there's another little plot going on there too, but yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. I believe this demo is still up on Steam for people to play and try out, so I definitely recommend doing so.
I think it is. I thought I was just looking at it. Yeah, it is. So, because I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to play this. This is one I wanted to play. I just didn't get a chance to before Next Fest ended. But everything that you already described, as well as just the gameplay itself, like it looked super cool. It's very fast and fluid. Like,
I'm like, this is probably the best my parkour has ever looked ever. Let me see. There's also, let's see, that's the tutorial level. There's like a little home base that you have that I don't know if you can decorate or something at some point. It feels like maybe you can. But you can also, this is the, I don't know if he's actually white, but this is the guy that I think he might be suspect. I don't know.
Etienne, yeah, he sounds like that. That's a French name.
I'm like, I don't know. But you can see like their home base. It's very it's decorated with like various different like African patterns and just looks like very homey. Lots of plants that I'm sure I personally would kill if they were in my house. I do not have a green thumb. But yeah, get to know some of the teammates too, and it seemed like there was what would you call it? Like a friendship kind of system where if you say certain choices, you kind of get a little bit more closer to teammates versus other choices. So I don't know what that does in the grand scheme of things in terms of the actual heisting. Like, does that make them more efficient? Or like if you mess up, do they give you a chance to recover? I don't know. Or if it's just for the sake of getting to know them. I have no idea yet. But it's another interesting element to it too.
Nice. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm also very much platformer challenged, so this feels like, because of how fast paced it is, it would be good practice to be able to basically be better overall. Like once you pick it up in a faster pace, you should theoretically be able to do it better when it's slower.
Yeah, it is like very forgiving in that way where like when you're trying to do certain jumps or slides, if there's a I think it's like A or something that you can hit to hit a boost like at the right time. But I think even if you miss the boost, that doesn't mean that like you mess up the jump and you like stumble. It just means you don't get the extra time to like kind of boost out.
Nice. Okay.
So you're not necessarily penalized for missing those opportunities. You just get rewarded for like being more like better at the platforming.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool.
I like it. Like you said, it's a game that not only does it look fun, but it has a great message and it's an important one because it very much is like, when you think about it, which I knew obviously before this game, but when you I'm sure it puts it a lot more in your face. Like there's a lot of artifacts that were stolen from Africa and now they're sitting in as priceless treasures in a European museum that knows probably should go back to where they're from. Like it's crazy.
It is, and I feel like more people in mass became aware of this issue with the first Black Panther and with like Killmonger's
Mm-hmm.
message
Mm-hmm.
and starting in that museum. But I'm almost feel like people thought it was fiction, and they're like, oh, like yeah, that would be a great reason for Killmonger to
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
start over.
Fair.
Like no, like that's real. Like that is a real thing. So just like further reiterating to people, like no, this is this a serious issue that um exists for no reason, basically, other than
Yeah.
like probably racism. But yeah.
Right. Right.
um but yeah, that was Relooted. I definitely encourage people to try it out, especially if you like platforming. I would also say for people that enjoy puzzlers too, I think you would like this, because there is like kind of thinking through the setup, and the way that I set up is actually not the only way that you can set up. There are like a few different places you can put the um like green grappler guy to kind of like help you get to certain areas.
Oh,
I just
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I picked a more like central area because I'm like, oh, like this might be where I will get the most bang for my buck. But there are lots of different options that you can choose, like do the heist in. So I'm sure there'll be tons of like speed running people, and also people that's like, this is the most efficient run to get the lowest time, blah blah blah. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for creativity here too.
Nice. That's cool.
Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I think that is it. That is the last demo that at least we plan to talk about today.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to mention or bring up?
No, I mean, I think we gave a very wide scope of the demos overall that are at any Next Fest. Like, even
Mhm.
in the skill, even in like, obviously all of mine or majority of mine, other than Arc Raiders, were horror demos. They were all still very different from each other.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't done a Next Fest, I think that'll probably be the only thing. If you haven't done one in general, definitely go out and like the next Fest, look at what they have available and pick a game that you may not necessarily pick on the regular. Like there are so many of these games that Steam has the little thing like, are you sure you want to try this game? This doesn't seem like something typically that you would play. And I would make it an effort to play those because you never know what's going to be your next favorite game. And this is a very low stakes way of being able to find that, because you might play a demo and you're like, I want to play so much more of this type of game. And they're only going to tell you games that are like it, or you ideally would just buy that game once it's out. And now you have expanded your world of what you play in a way that you never would have before.
It's funny that you say like using this to help find your next favorite game. It does remind me of one piece of news I heard this past week. I think through the Kind of Funny's Kind of Funny Games Daily. That was interesting, and I don't necessarily know how to feel about it. So as y'all know, I guess quick aside, but as y'all know, or maybe you don't know, ID Xbox is coming up on the 28th, which I believe is Tuesday. So there will be another indie showcase that I absolutely will be streaming and trying to highlight for you guys. I don't know when that stream is going to happen because it's on a day where I typically don't stream, so it might be a late night thing. But it seems like as of the past few ID Xbox like Indie Fest, there have been opportunities to play demos similar to what happens with Steam Next Fest, which I think is great. And honestly, I don't know why console platforms don't do that more, is having more demo opportunities for people. But something interesting that I believe it was Phil Spencer said, if not an Xbox representative, was that one of the ways that they are using AI is not in a creative sense, but more in like an operational sense. But they also wanted to be able to implement AI in ways to help people find their next favorite games, like what you were saying. And I see it as it could be a positive, it could be a negative, in the way that, I look at sites like GameSpot or IGN or even Kind of Funny as places where you can learn about your possible next favorite game, and kind of absorb that kind of media. Granted, are most people that are on these platforms like absorbing that kind of media? Probably not. They're probably very casual, probably like just checking out like, oh, this came out on Game Pass this week, or oh, like this game is highlighted in the store, like let me learn more about it. And so maybe that would be more helpful for those kinds of people. But I also think if they're going through the trouble of like if they really want to dig deep and find like what is their next favorite game, that's where I start to see possible danger for games media people. But maybe I'm blowing things out of proportion. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I guess in a sense, there's always that danger just because it's companies just want to figure out the cheapest way to do stuff. So it's like, I think it's a threat in that sense, but not necessarily purely in like a quality sense, I guess, where I think the paradigm will shift and then it probably will shift back. But how long will it be before someone realizes like, all right, we kind of messed up here is the scary part. Because people are stubborn.
Yeah.
And businesses for sure are stubborn. Mm-hmm. And they will ride the wave of pain as long as they can before they start trying to make some changes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, especially when you're talking about Xbox and the way especially. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit there. But yeah, Ditch, what have you got coming up, whether it's gaming or otherwise, that people can look forward to?
Yeah, so obviously you could find me on social media at DidgeD everywhere. It's DIDGEDEE, no underscore, no spaces in any location. I very much made sure to go and bring all of those similar or to the same. Fridays at 5. I do Geeking on Tech with my buddy Trayvon. Saturdays at 9, 10-ish. That's when the audio episode goes up. It is on every podcast platform. So if you are listening to this, you are interested in tech, please go watch it. Please go listen it. Please like, review, subscribe on all your podcast platforms and everything. That'll go a long way in helping us try to grow that show. It's very much a goal of mine for the rest of this year and moving on into next year. Every Sunday we do the Geek Set podcast. Same situation. Audio episodes for that go up Monday mornings. Please listen, like, review, all of that stuff, because we're also consistently trying to grow that. And then streaming, it is just I'm trying to make it a habit to stream 2 or 3 times a week. And especially this week, I'll be playing Silent Hill, just sort of as a scary month game. I also want to play Silent Hill F, so I need to get through Silent Hill 2. So it'll bleed into November, obviously, but just stick around. I'm trying to do some more stuff, especially as I do a complete brand revamp going into next year.
I love a brand revamp. I need that too. Cool. Yeah, lots going on there. I've been following along with the tech podcast so I can stay informed and impress all my friends with all my tech knowledge.
Nice.
And also take part in some of these discussions. I don't believe it was the most recent podcast, but I think maybe the one before that was a lot of the Xbox stupidity.
Yes.
And, I was definitely chiming in the comments. I'm like, well, actually, I don't know. And I'm like, well, yeah, that one's trash. That one's trash. So I was agreeing with y'all, and sometimes I was giving a little bit of pushback.
And that is fair. All conversation is healthy.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like y'all definitely had it down. It's just like I'm defensive of Xbox sometimes. Even though no, they definitely do deserve the criticism. As far as for me, we will be streaming as of we're streaming this right now, but yes. I'll be live again tomorrow on Monday to play some more Metaphor. I'm not making it a goal to beat the game before the end of this year, but I definitely want to be as close as possible to beating it once we get towards the end of this year. So we got some work to do there.
Right.
What else? Yote. I said I wasn't gonna stream it, but I ended up streaming a lot of it, so I don't know where I am with this anymore. I'm like certain special things, maybe I will stream it. I still don't want to fully commit to it because I do play Yote in my off time. Like y'all see, like I've discovered a lot of the map and different areas. So we'll see with that. But as far as what y'all actually see on stream, I do plan on playing Keeper this coming weekend. Actually, I guess Halloween weekend. I plan on doing that. So that will be, I don't know if it's a spooky game. I don't think it is. It looks like it could be a little scary with the lighthouse walking around, but I think it's more so like a puzzly adventure game. So we'll be checking that out. I've heard a lot of really good things. And then there's so much else. There's so much else I would like to do, but we'll save that for the future.
Nice.
But appreciate y'all for coming through to the stream. Hopefully you guys saw a game that you're interested in, and if you did, or not just one game but multiple, and if you did see something that you were interested in, please be sure to go to their Steam pages and wishlist the game. It really helps out the developers a lot. It shows Steam like, hey, there are a lot of people that are very excited for this game, and they can also prove to developers like, hey, there are so many people excited for this game. Like if you help us get investment, we can help like make this dream into a reality essentially. So it's very important to wish list. You can also I believe a lot of the developers have their like social medias and stuff linked, as well as just even the community page and keeping up with what's going on in the game. Be a great resource for anybody interested. But yes, I think that is going to do it for today. Appreciate y'all for coming through.
Appreciate it.
Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe, all that. Support us as we continue to try and grow as well. Hopefully create a platform that will help platform other indie devs, other small creators, things like that. And until the next time, have a nice evening, morning, night. Was enjoy it. We'll see you guys in the next video or stream.
That is true.
Peace. I forgot this wasn't on my OBS. I was about to click the button.
Oh.
Bye.